All right. Finished eating, so it's time. It's time! See if we can make this work tonight. Make sure the... I updated my drivers, guys, even though I literally have a notification right here that says your drivers need to be updated. Whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. What's going on, guys? I'm the most embarrassing person to be around with company because I never shut up. You guys know that. I'm the guy that, like, my friends will come over because I have...
Who are going to fight for everyday working class people like myself.
Oh. So you have the Harris Walz up in the background here. Let's just go like that. We'll get to this in a second. I guess we'll just leave it sitting on while we're talking. Yeah, I'm the person that my friends have to, like, come over, and they're like, "Come on, dude, let's go drink." And I'm talking about asteroids, talking about black holes, talking about dolphins, talking about JD Vance and dolphins right now. I did not see the video you just posted for me. I could go and look at it, but I'm afraid to push buttons. You can link it in the chat, though. You know, you can do that. You can link it in the chat. You guys can always do that for me. Oh, not supposed to show it on. I can get in trouble if brands think that I've got their stuff on here. What up, Nathan? MAGA Immune Mama. Guys, MAGA Immune Mama is one of the originals. MAGA Immune Mama has the only Angry Ginger autographed t-shirt in the world currently. Like LB, like Mikey Decrepit, like Woke Dragon, who is now Reverend Potty Mouth. They are all celebrities in this chat. I am so glad to see you, MAGA Immune Mama. I am hoping you're feeling better. I hope you do feel better, but I appreciate you being here. I did change my name, so...
To put it very succinctly for your audience.
Okay, hold on. Oh, this is a long guy. Okay, I'll watch this off stream. That looks good, though. That looks good. Yeah. I'm glad they love the shirt. We were just talking about making... Was it Spiken was talking about? Is it Spiken? Or maybe it was somebody else is talking about the kicking ass and making America laugh again shirt. We were thinking about making a Kamala shirt. Now, I was saying it should say Kamala, and it should have kicking ass, making America laugh again across the front, and then maybe a picture of Kamala on the back. That's what I was thinking. I don't know if you guys think there'd like be a better way to do that. Maybe Kamala on the front, and then maybe the name on the back with that going across it. I think that'd be cool too. But we're thinking about making some new ones. I'm glad people like the shirt though. That's super cool. What up, Mike? Why aren't your comments going through it? You got to be careful what you type. Dark Cash, definitely a celebrity as well. Or mind your own damn business would be a good one too. That'd be a good one. Yeah, I changed my name, MAGA. So MAGA Immune Mama. I'm gonna call you Mim. I'll just call you Mama. I have a Nana already. We already have a Nana, so Mama and Nana. Yeah. I was gonna say, Mike, you got A, make sure it's on live chat. B, YouTube doesn't like a lot of comments. Also, I mean, anything to do with children, I have blocked. So you guys know that. I have done my best to include all the words that include anything to do with the harm of children. So if you try to type out something that has anything to do with children in it, it will block that shit, and you deserve it, okay? I'm gonna start making Nightbot fucking ban people for that shit. Not that I don't already ban people for that shit. But I will, okay? Yeah, it's Insta boot. So I wanted to get, like, I do want to watch this video here, but for now, I mean, I want to watch a little bit of the speeches, but a lot of the speeches right now are the same. So if you wonder why I'm not watching every Mamala, every Walz campaign stop, it's because obviously they had to write speeches for this stuff, and they're just kind of repeating the speeches. I was just like fucking shitting on somebody on X about this that was like, isn't it weird they say the same thing? I'm like, is it weird that Joe Rogan does the same fucking stand-up everywhere he goes? No, it's not weird. It's literally new people hearing the speech that they have written for these types of things. And they do deviate a little bit, and that's fun. But obviously it does get a little bit repetitive when every time I get on stream we watch the campaign rallies, which are great. It's cool to see so many happy people, but they do say the same thing. So we're going to be watching some more like videos that are a little more fun and stuff right now. Yeah, let's see. Camouflage shirt, triggers are right. You liked Woke Dragon more? I like Reverend Potty Mouth. Reverend Potty Mouth's pretty good. Yeah, Trump, that's the other thing, Reverend, is that, like, I'm just going to call you Woke. That's the thing, Woke, is that, like, it's so fucking weird to hear people say, look at her, say the same things, and I'm like, dog, Donald Trump hasn't stopped saying the same fucking dumb shit for, like, 6 years. The only time he changes something he says is when he goes off script and starts talking about fucking electric batteries versus shark. Which one is more deadly? Like, that's what these people are into. These people, like, I swear to God, it's like, you have a person that can sit there and talk about, like, keeping women's rights, you know, bodily autonomy, improving education, helping the middle class, goes through all these different things. But all they want to hear is some stupid fucking anecdote about how Donald Trump's uncle was at MIT, so that makes him smart. And how if you were to fucking sink in an electric boat, you would have to make a decision between sharks or electric batteries. These are the fucking people that follow Donald Trump, and it's, to be honest with you, it's fucking sad. You know, I don't know if you guys saw, start allegations that cat turd is trans. I don't know if you guys have seen the new video I just put out, but I put out the new video about him doing the Mar-a-Lago talk, which turns out it's like him standing in a room with like 15 older people, like with a rope around him. It's so fucking weird. And he stands up there and he goes, one of the things he says is he's like, she has picked a man, and he has positions. He has a lot of positions. They're different positions on different things. Trans things, other things, many things, lots of positions. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? He had a conversation with a bartender the other day and got pissed and wanted to argue semantics with me over my blanket statement of oppression being based in stupidity. I mean, we could definitely talk about that. Dude, Reverend Woke, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I don't think any woman wants missionary with Donald Trump. There's no fucking way any woman wants to look at Donald Trump while he has sex with her. 100% the only position any woman has ever accepted with Donald Trump is from behind. From behind. That's it. Like, you don't want to know what's going on up there. Can you imagine laying there looking up at Donald Trump as he just grunts and groans over you? There's just his fucking Big Mac stomach just bouncing around. And he's just like fucking, ah! And he's like, my crowd size is bigger than MLK's. My crowd size is huge. I have large hands. Like, dude, come on, dude. Like, God, you know he talks about all that shit during sex, too. Holy fuck. He's probably an insufferable human being to be around. Sorry, Dark. Sorry. Sorry. When he started talking about the fucking MLK thing, it was the weirdest shit ever. He's like, they say that Kamala's, they say that her crowd size is bigger than mine, but they've also said that about MLK. They said MLK was the same place, same people, same fountains, but they said MLK had 1 million people. They said I only had 25,000, but it was the same place. It was the same fountain. It's like, what the? And he's like, it's okay though. I like MLK. I'll give him some credit. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? Holy shit. Longest 3 minutes of her life? No fucking doubt. Holy fuck. Oh my God. All right, let's watch some videos because I've been talking a lot lately and not watching videos. I think that's impacting our numbers. I've been having fun though. I hope you guys all feel the change, that good feeling. And I'm gonna be honest with you because some motherfuckers are already jumping on my ideas. I'm always the first with this shit, but I'm not big enough. I'm not big enough. That's what Trump said. I'm not big enough for people to notice my shit before everybody else grifts onto this shit. And I don't think they take my ideas. I just know that I'm just as bad as everybody else, and they think the same shit I do. But I've been saying this on this fucking stream for at least a week and a half now, and I'm seeing videos pop up from this shit now. And that is, I think Donald Trump is actually intentionally not campaigning right now to set himself up for a worse loss so that way he can claim it was all rigged. Like, I'm gonna keep saying that shit, all right? Because that's what I believe is going on. I think that Donald Trump right now is setting himself up to be able to say it was rigged and to point to the numbers and go, there's no way I could have lost that bad. This is obviously rigged. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. That's what I'm going for. Sectional healing. JD Vance came to me with tears in his eyes. I gotta actually, you have to do the right voice for the tears. With tears in his eyes. I can't do it. I gotta watch that. I gotta watch him say tears in his eyes more often. Came to me with tears in his eyes. He said, I need sectional healing. And I gave it to him. I gave it to him. I gave it to him. Those couch cushions, they weren't very resistant. They didn't say no, like most of the women I know.
Violent mobs, let the violent mobs.
I'm on the phone with Donald Trump, and I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life.
Did. JD Vance is the cringiest fucking human being on earth.
You cannot be a Democrat and be a believer in Jesus
Go
Christ.
horror writer, call it tired. Good luck, my friend. Own that shit.
Seems to be a little bit sensitive.
This should not even be close, but it is because we are so corrupt and stupid as a country.
Can't fact
That's true. That's true.
Speech, rhetoric. I mean, opinion.
By the way, do you like my buddy Felix?
Not for the reasons he thinks.
Felix, by the way, Mr. Trump.
Dude, XQC. Like, you couldn't pick two dumber fucking streamers. I'm sorry, XQC. XQC doesn't seem like a bad dude. He's actually seems like a pretty nice dude. But his entire reaction content, and he got called out on this shit, is him eating bowls of noodles and going, wow, that's crazy, chat. That's crazy, chat. Oh my god, chat. Wow, that's crazy. Like, I don't think he's a bad dude. I think XQC seems like a nice person. But you couldn't pick two less intellectual people than Aiden fucking Ross, who's a moron, 100% a moron. He literally sniffed an alleged sex trafficker's seat because he's such a fucking cuck, all right? And then XQC, who's a goddamn court jester. Like, this is the people that Donald Trump has surrounded himself and thinks that people should vote for him. He surrounded himself with idiots, morons, and like the lowest common denominator. And then he was like, vote for me.
Fact-checking is fake.
What up, AJ?
And it's actually kind of dangerous.
The more the American people get to know JD
Being a
Vance,
weirdo, Dark.
unlike
That's what he
Kamala
was
Harris,
doing. What up, Jerry?
This is the good stuff here. It's high caffeine.
He had to take the watch in the truck back, yep. Because those are gifts. You can't do that shit.
She likes to dance. She's just like your typical girl's girl.
Left is trying to take away your children.
Fucking this guy. God damn it.
The 2 words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas.
But the biggest thing that
I love the way they do the Merry Christmas thing. Like, all of these people are fucking Christians. Isn't Kamala a Baptist or something like that? Like, this whole, like, they don't want you to say Merry Christmas anymore. They don't want you to say it. It's like all of them are religious. Why the fuck would they not want you to say that? None of this shit makes any sense. But people just eat this shit up and regurgitate it.
Trump campaign can do
What up, Spikin'?
talking about what her race is.
Oh, he gave him to Barron? No shit.
Nobody cares if she's Indian.
Always
black,
a
or space
loophole,
marshal.
dude. Always a loophole.
Collapse into a puddle of goo. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
His name is Donald Trump, not Donald Trump. Trump.
Dude, this shit is so cringy. Holy
It's a
shit.
war crime that Obama's
up,
directing
Levon?
Kamala Harris would be the cackling hyena that just listens and repeats.
She gave me a kiss.
Oh, I like
said,
that,
I think
Levon.
I'm
Hello,
never going
fellow
back
MAGA
home to the
meltdown
First Lady.
extremists. Everybody say hi to MAGA Immune
Generals, I
Mama.
don't know. I didn't know
MAGA
who she-
Immune Mama is one of the OGs.
Terrible person. I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal?
Jesus Christ, he's such a moron! I'm on one today because I was actually making a video before all this shit, and the longer you're on X, like, the lower your IQ goes. Like, the longer I scroll through the X, the more, like, angry, hateful, and, like, vitriol-filled I become. It's like, literal, like, I don't even think it's brainwashing. I think it's just, like, it's like their aura fucking sapping mine. I don't even believe in auras. Just fucking throwing that out there. Alright, Jess. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for everything you do. I just want you to know that I'm here if you need me. Alrighty? And you got my email. You got my email. Thank you, Jess. Alright, let's go to... I hope that's not forever, Jess. Not for... Don't say forever, Jess. This is gonna be Christopher Titus's new video.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Well, it's been a week and some change, and, well, everything has changed in a week. First of all, Kamala Harris picked her running mate, and this dude is equal parts Jimmy Stewart, Mr. Rogers, and Tom Hanks.
Let me know if there's anything I need to know, Jess. Let me know.
I can't wait to debate the guy, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So,
Tim Walz is that best friend of your dad's that you wish was actually your dad. Even your dad wishes he was his dad.
Was he?
Tim Walz did 24
this video
years
right
in
here.
J.D. Vance, I can't wait to debate the guy, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So,
Tim Walz is that best friend of your dad's that you wish was actually your dad.
That picture right there, that picture by itself should guarantee him the vice presidency. You know how long it's been since we have had politicians and people that have, like, actually been, like, real human beings that other human beings actually, like, glom onto and enjoy their presence? Tim Walz is one of the coolest fucking people. 24 years in the National Guard. Free lunches and breakfasts for all children, regardless of financial status. Protections for transgender youth. California, fun fact for you, California has never been a slave state. Never been a slave state. In fact, one of the states that caused the Civil War because the introduction of California into the Union was a big talking point about slavery. And California used to, if a slave were to escape from Texas into California, Texas had laws to deputize people to allow them to help them chase down escaped slaves. California refused to do those things, right? The equivalency, and I'm not saying it's one for one, but the equivalency or analogy that I'm going to use here is that Walz has signed into effect laws that allow transgender youth and their parents to come into Minnesota and to get gender-affirming care, which, by the way, not everything that's gender-affirming care is surgeries or all this crazy shit that the right wants you to believe. Some of it's very simple shit. Some of it's a little more complicated. All of it has multiple steps to it before you can ever use it. Tim Walz here has created a law that allows these people to come to his state and use their utilities, use their science, their hospitals, their clinicians, without fearing any form of retribution from their home state. This man could be fucking Santa Claus. I'm not even sure yet, but he might be Santa Claus. It's fucking, like, I am so happy with Walz.
Even your dad wishes he was his dad.
Was he?
Shut up,
Tim Walz
Bob!
did 24 years in the military. He enlisted at 17. He's got reasons for his positions instead of doing what's popular based on polls.
Bob just comes in here so I can yell at him and tell him to
because his
shut
dad
up.
died of lung cancer. He said, the last week of my dad's life cost my mom a decade of going back to work to pay off hospital debt. Tim Walz gives a shit instead of being
exactly,
full of
Abaddon.
shit. He has a social science degree, a Master of Science in Educational Leadership from Minnesota State University. So he knows history and believes in science. Wow. This guy...
I don't think
okay, I have to just go back just for a second, because I just noticed this as I'm watching this. This guy in his class, this kid in his class, has a shirt that says Big Cock Country.
and believes in science. Wow. This guy...
I don't think science knows, actually.
Yeah, dude, science knows. It's
No,
actually the
science
definition
knows.
of science. Walz speaks Mandarin. Trump can't speak English.
Infantry parental suspect foistered application.
What the fuck was that? Hold on.
English.
What was that?
Parental suspect foistered applicable. And then they announced there was no mass singer Alphonse Capone. Sharks. You don't have sharks.
Walz taught geography. Trump talks about
Countries that nobody ever heard of. You don't have sharks.
What? Walz is a hunter and gun owner who believes in gun safety laws. He had an A rating from the NRA
God.
until he said we need universal background checks. Then the NRA dropped it to an F. Oh, and one.
Yeah, I love all the people too that are like, they're gonna take your guns. They're gonna take your guns. Like every liberal I know owns guns. All of them. Every single one of them. Including Tim Walz.
One more thing. F the NRA.
Oh, fuck.
So after the Vegas shooting in 2017 where 59 people were murdered, he donated all his NRA contributions to a nonprofit that supported the family of military members who died or were severely wounded while serving. Walz walks the walk. He changes his mind when the facts change. And he signed legislation to name a highway in Minnesota after
Feels
Prince.
so good.
So you know I'm in.
Dude.
Listen, T-Republic.
Like, this man may have been created in a lab. I might need some history on where this dude came from. Because he likes Prince. He likes hunting. He was in the military. He had a DUI and then went sober. Like, he loves kids. He gave kids free lunches and free breakfast across the board. This man might have been created in a laboratory. I might need some history.
Republicans. I don't dislike you. You are my fellow Americans, so hear me out. Between Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we have a picture of America. What America really looks like.
Hell yeah,
we
brother!
We also have a badass prosecutor with a stellar record on crime. Yeah,
Hell
I know
yeah,
she was
brother!
tough on crime because she pissed off liberals in California. Her running mate is a 24-year veteran gun owner, teacher.
You would think that conservatives would be like, fuck yeah, Kamala. Like, Kamala literally made liberals mad in California for prosecuting people that she never actually prosecuted the way that they think that she prosecuted them. But it's not like conservatives have ever read any of these things. It's not like they know anything about her actual caseload. But instead they're like, fuck that shit. I hate prosecutors now. Like, if liberals were to put a police officer, if my uncle, a captain in the CHP, a man who had like 30 plus years in the police force, were to run for president, people on the right, conservatives, would be like, I don't like cops anymore. He's not even a good police. 30 years in the CHP. Psh, CHP isn't even like being a real cop, brother. He barely, he pull people over for speeding? That's exactly what would happen. And it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
Football coach, the kind of guy who offers to take your packages off the porch when you're out on vacation. He's the kind of guy who happens to have a screwdriver on his pocket knife and ties up that shaky
They just
bathroom
can't get
door
over
while he's
it.
at your
They're
house
having
for the barbecue,
feels.
where he eventually
They're
takes
having
over
feels,
and grills
man.
perfect chicken.
Just clip off the back, use some shrink wrap connectors on there, tape it back together, and put it back in. It's about a 5-minute fix, and you're back on the road, safe and sound.
I like Tim Walz. Rachel and I have been fans of Kamala since she was AG of California. She didn't play favorites. If you were a criminal, race didn't matter, money didn't matter. What mattered is you were going to jail for...
And they wanted her to pick Shapiro so bad because they know that, like, I like Josh Shapiro, but he's had some conflicting opinions on things that don't go so well within the Libertarian Party, things that could have caused conflict within the party right now when it's not necessary. And the right wanted them to pick Shapiro so bad that they're now going across the board, whether it's on X, whether it's on social media, whether it's YouTube streamers, all of them are going, it's because they're anti-Semitic, even though the majority of Jewish people in the government are Democrats. There's something like 24 of 28 congressmen that are Jewish are Democrats. It's like 4 out of 5 senators that are Jewish are Democrats. But they think you're stupid. And some people on the left are. Because there's some people on the left that are like, that's a pretty good goddamn point. I don't know. Like, I like Josh Shapiro. I liked him. And then they didn't pick him. Maybe these people on the right are right. Maybe they're anti-Semitic. They're right. There's enough people in the party on the left that are dumb enough to take right-wing talking points and then start spewing them ad nauseum like fucking idiots. And those people, don't forget to just shove a fucking sock in their mouth. We don't need to hear that shit, okay? But what she did, she picked the best fucking person. The best person. The most human person. The coolest fucking person. And for that, I love Kamala Harris that much more. That much more. For those of you that don't watch my channel, back in 2020 when Kamala was in the debates before the primaries, I actually was for Kamala. I loved her. I thought she was awesome. I thought she had great debate skills. When my boss was saying he liked Elizabeth Warren, I was like, I want some Mamala. I felt like we needed big mom energy even back then. And if we would have took some mom energy back then, maybe we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. Some people would have got hit with a sandal, okay? And she would turn this fucking car around, all right?
For being a criminal. So do you people still under the spell of this traitorous, bankrupt pedophile?
I've got to fix this headphone thing. I don't know what the headphone thing is. I keep messing up the headphone thing. 1 second. Fixing the headphones again. Lost. Okay. All right, you've been lost. Now get found. Please get found. So bad. All right, here we go. Back to it. Back to it. We fixed it. We'll go back 10 seconds or 20 seconds. I don't know how to do this.
What mattered is you were going to jail for being a criminal. So do you people still under the spell of this traitorous, bankrupt, pedophile rapist? You gotta choose freedom or fascism, democracy or demagogue,
I agree with you,
liberty or loser, accomplished Americans or asshole authoritarian. Look, by any measure, you Republicans have been wrong for 8 years now. Don't double down this election because then you're wrong again. And the paradox is if you admit you were wrong about this bloviating orange traitorous douche, then you get to be right.
I can't wait for this debate.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God, I'm so tired. Even on vacation, I got to talk about this. You know why? Everybody's talking crazy. What, stolen Valor, J.D. Vance? The man was in for 24 years. What are you talking about? I'm so tired of stupid.
And you know the funniest part about all that stolen valor shit? Dude, my grandfather was in the military for over 30 years. If he heard you talk about a veteran of over 20 years and accused him of stolen valor, my grandfather would find you and beat you to death with your own hands. Believe me, he was capable of it. He was a huge motherfucker, and he had that German look, that fucking mean, solid jaw, hard-ass forehead. Like, that man, if he heard you say one fucking word about stolen valor from a 20-plus year veteran, my grandfather would have found you and beat you to death with your own hands. Not even fucking kidding. Like, it's insane. Insane that there are a group of people out there that are dumb enough to believe that a person that was in the military for more than 20 years didn't serve his country. You're a fucking moron if you believe that. You're a fucking moron. Just letting you know that. Jesus Christ. These people aren't real. They're not real. I swear to God. Alright. Let's do some straight facts, no chaser. We're running through the videos tonight, boys. And girls. And genders of all ages. We're back to watching videos and laughing at shit. Not arguing with everybody in chat anymore. What up, Paul? Everybody that's coming into chat, meet MAGA Mia Mama, one of the original people that joined this show and kept the show going for long enough for me to make it to this point where I hang out with you guys. MAGA Mia Mama, as I said before, the only person to own a autographed shirt from the Angry Ginger back when my show used to be called Angry Ginger Productions. All right, here we go. This is, if you guys don't know who Straight Facts No Chaser is, I'm going to link his channel after this. This is my dude right here. This is my brother from another mother.
Welcome back, class, to another episode of Trump Whisperer, translating stupid. We're reporting from Planet Cray Cray. We've never left since Joe Biden dropped out of the race. We've had a lot of news to cover. Donald Trump on the island of Foe has been flipping the fuck out, but golfing a lot. But today, we're gonna head back to Logic World, to a place called Wisconsin. We're hitchhiking as we speak on J.D. Vance's puny-ass plane. We're taxiing in right now. And why the hell are we parking next to Kamala Harris's plane? Let's see what this fool is up to.
Now I'm gonna need you to put on your
Because he's fucking weird.
Because what these dipshits want you to believe will have your brain twisted like a pretzel. So don't forget to put them on, nice and tight.
Let's get it.
Dude, it's like somebody was like, JD Vance is super weird and super cringe, and then he was like, yeah, you think so? Wait till the next thing I do. Wait until you see this dumb shit I have planned. This man is fucking weird. I was calling MAGA supporters, MAGA and Mia Mama can confirm this for me, I have been calling MAGA supporters weird for like 2 years. And then JD Vance just comes out of the woodworks like he was some kind of cult of weird leader or representative. It was like this dude, once again, may have been created in a lab, a really fucking dumb one, a lab full of stupid, moronic scientists, but he might have been created in a lab. I'm gonna be honest with you, because there is no way that a human being was born this fucking cringe. He had to learn to be this way. Absolutely no way that nature created a human being that is this weird and this cringe. I will not accept that. Also, just proof that there is no God. Just saying.
I figured I'd come by and one, just get a good look at the plane. Hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months.
Oxford, 100%.
This fool said he
At
just
least
walked
he
a country
owns the
mile from
weirdness.
his puny-ass plane to her jet just so that he can see the plane in which he may be
You
on
just
one
wanted
day.
to check out them couches?
I highly doubt it, Junior. I highly doubt it. But you look very weak coming down to her plane to talk to the press because she didn't have time for him. Sounds like you got a lot of time on your hand. Sounds like your guy's not getting enough press. It looks like nobody came down to your plane to ask you a damn thing when you got off. You were so thirsty, you ran down to her camera just so that you can get some attention.
Fucking weirdo.
But I also thought you guys might get
What up, Fatty?
because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope.
He is the weirdest fucking human being. This is my one thing, guys. We can vote Trump out, all right? We can vote Trump out of existence. We can literally vote him so hard out of existence that he may just move to Russia or maybe just go back to playing Mar-a-Lago golf, where we never have to hear from this dipshit motherfucker ever again in our lives. But unfortunately, guys, J.D. Vance is in the pocket of Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel has billions of dollars. We unfortunately have to deal with J.D.'s weird ass even after he loses this election. Someone just said they would have been better off with with Santos than J.D. Vance. And that is so goddamn true. George Santos is a liar, a scammer, a con artist, a thief. Apparently he once stole money from a veteran that was trying to get his dog's vet bills paid, which makes him a horrible fucking human being. And yet somehow Santos is less cringe than J.D. Vance. You can't make this shit up. It's so goddamn weird. So all I'm asking is people in Ohio, that's where he's from, right? He's a senator of Ohio. People in Ohio, do us a favor. Look, can we get a GoFundMe started? Can we as a nation start a GoFundMe that can be divvied up between everybody in J.D. Vance's district? This is my plan, guys. We start a GoFundMe, we all donate to it, and then it gets split amongst the people in J.D. Vance's district to get them to not vote for J.D. Vance. Is that a possibility? Let me know if that's not against any laws. I don't know if that's against any laws, and even if it is, we'll find a loophole, guys. Let's make this shit happen, all right?
That you changes your mind because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign.
I'm down with that, Kool-Aid. Let him go to Russia. Let him go to Russia.
See ya.
What would you like to hear from her?
I'd love her to answer some questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do and also explain why every single position she has changed. She pretends to be a prosecutor, yet she
pretends to be a prosecutor. Yet that's not how it works, JD. That's not how it works, dog. I love that simultaneously they try to like beat her down on her record as a prosecutor and then also claim that she's not a prosecutor. This motherfucker is ad-libbing. He is improving. Holy shit, he's a moron. Why don't you ask him why she hasn't answered the question about what's more dangerous, sharks or electric batteries? Let's ask her that next. Fucking morons.
This would be a tough one.
JD Vance.
Back it up.
This is your...
Okay, hold on. I'll back it up. How far you want me to go? We'll go all the way back here, because this shit is like, he is...
I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So, have a good one, guys. See ya.
What would you like to hear from her?
I'd love her to answer some questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do and also explain why every single position she has
allegedly MAGA.
Pretends to be a prosecutor, but she pretends to be a tough on
JD Vance, this is your conscience. They don't care about you. They're paying attention to her vehicle. Please walk away with some dignity. Weird people can never understand.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we're gonna go do our event. I appreciate you guys being here. I wish she paid you some more attention. See ya.
I'm about to go to my event. I wish she paid more attention to you. Did I say they were weird? This is where this man showed up. A parking lot. Yeah, that's his press conference.
Oh, dude.
You came all the way to Wisconsin on your puny little plane just to speak at a parking lot. You got more people paying attention to you at the tarmac. You should have just got off, went talked to the press, and then got on your plane and left.
And went back.
This is pathetic. But hey, gotta work with what you got. Some of us are well endowed with a big crowd, and some of us have to do this.
You know, that makes sense now, guys. I'm reading your chat, and it makes sense now. So Aiden Ross is a chair sniffer. He got up after alleged human trafficker Andrew Tate got up and walked off during an interview to do something, and Aiden Ross got up to sniff the chair where Andrew Tate's taint was, and now it makes so much sense. It's starting to become readily apparent that within the conservative MAGA right, there is a very weird infatuation with furniture. Like, you think when what's her name, Usha, is that the name of JD Vance's wife? You think when she's not home, like JD Vance just like goes to town on the armrest of a chair, like he just like fucking like that armrest, like there's snapping and popping sounds, just fucking. He just hate fucks a recliner. And then like Aiden Ross comes in afterwards and smells it.
This because the crowds are smaller than others. Yeah. How did you get a woman? Is she held captive? I mean, come on. So you were so thirsty just now. You like that dude at the club that sits there and talks to a girl but can't tell she don't want shit to do with him. She's staring him up and down, casing him, and he's still there trying to mac. And she looking at him, why you still here, fool? I don't fuck with you. That's how the press treated him. Like, this fool doing that? Let's look at the cars. And then one of them gave you a little nugget to have you come back.
What would you like to hear from her?
I'd love her to answer some questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do.
So even when they had a question, it was only about her. You should have hopped back on that plane and hightailed it back to Mar-a-Lago and talked to the head dude and said, what the fuck are we doing? They out here getting 10,000 people. I'm running around here like Rudy Giuliani having press conferences that nobody wants to hear from me. Asking me questions I have no answers to, but stupidity.
It's makeup sex, Patty.
Because Donald Trump needs the blue pill to get his crowd up. You saw that last round. He was in the same place as Kamala Harris. She was full and he was half mass. And you are running around stalking her. Let me give you a nickname. I'm going to call you Walz. It has a double meaning. One is you're the past tense. Nobody giving a fuck about it. But also it's an acronym. WAS stands for Weird Ass Stalker. Who does this? JD Vance, who does this? You're like the thirstiest politician I ever saw in my damn life. Nobody wants to talk to you. You go up and try and start a conversation, and your starting conversation game is trash. Go walk up and talk about somebody else. She ain't talking to you. I will. We don't care. You're no one. Off with you, son. Out of here. Skedaddle. Skadoosh or some shit. Go. Bye-bye. Now take off your imaginary stupid goggles before you shit yourself.
Hey everyone, big heads up.
Dude,
Paleo Valley's running a sale on
man.
all their meat sticks right now. You can get
Hold on,
30
I'm gonna link
sticks
his
for $36.
I don't think there's a funnier dude on the internet. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think that there is a funnier dude on the internet right now than the guy from Straight Facts.
Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well.
Like, he should have.
Welcome back, class, to another.
This man should have 1 million subscribers. He should have like 10 million subscribers. He is hands down the funniest dude on the internet. Here's his channel. If you haven't gone and liked and subscribed, please. Let's make the voices of people like this man, let's amplify them. Let's make them so much louder, because this guy should be everywhere. Why do we see JD Vance? Why do we see Donald Trump? Why do we see Aiden Ross when we could be seeing this guy everywhere? Like, I'm standing for Straight Facts No Chaser. This dude is hilarious, and you should be clicking off my stream right now to go click his channel, like it, subscribe to it, and then come back. Yeah. He is so dope. Let's take a look. Let's see where they at with the speech here.
A group of think tankers. What they're really saying
they still haven't.
is that
what is this?
politicians should be allowed to ban
give him, right? So here's what we know. That's why we need to elect Democrats. We need to keep our majority in the Senate.
Yes, we do.
And
yes, we do.
We must win.
Straight Facts No Chaser is his name. Do you guys not see it? Paul, do you have it on live chat or top
chat? You saw
chat?
them here today. We have to send Susie Lee, Dina Titus, Stephen Horsford back to the House.
That's the link right there I just put in chat.
And we have to send my partner, Jackie Rosen, back to the Senate. And because we went more friends in Washington, we have to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as our next president and vice president.
For real, though.
Now, Nevada, I'm going to leave you with one last thing. I'm going to leave you with one last thing.
I wonder if they're coming on right now.
The Senate majority.
Let's see if they're coming on right now.
Down to 7,928
okay, cool.
Nevada voters. With that
dude, Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect's about to be on Fox News. He's about to be a commentator on Fox News, dude. Oh, you are right, Jeannie. I have not heard much from Marjorie Taylor Greene lately.
It's a reminder that every vote counts.
Nice. Good job,
every
Mike.
Vote counts.
Appreciate you guys.
So Nevada,
you know I love you guys.
Are we going to make our votes count? Nevada, are we going to
Later, Mama. Thanks for stopping in. Stopping anytime. We got a great community. We also got a Discord, Mama. So if you need the Discord link so that way you can be in there with the community and talk to everybody, let me know and we will hook that up for sure.
And as my good friend Kamala Harris says, when we fight, all right, Nevada, thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Disrespect is one of the people we don't talk about on the channel. Breaking the rules. Oh, yeah. Guess who isn't going to get told by somebody to not play their song at their campaign? You guys see that shit? Celine Dion told Donald Trump's ass he better fucking stop. I'm going to tell you this right now. Ain't nobody telling Kamala. God, I fucking suck at saying her name. To take it down. Here you guys go. The Discord for you. If you want to join the Discord and hang out with all the beautiful people that are in chat, always hanging out, talking, and making funny jokes like Uncle Fatty, like Reverend Woke, like his wife, all of these people. Join the Discord. LB's in there. Every once in a while I'm in there. I'm very busy. I'm always recording videos. Bye, Mama. I'm just realizing that I'm gonna get a copy straight for fucking having this stuff up. Ah, shit. Just realized my ass can get in trouble for having that song up, though. I'm actually surprised I haven't gotten a DMCA warning. It's okay, Levon, you got time. We're gonna be here for a while. You got months to figure it out. I don't know if you guys know who Professor Dave is. Professor Dave is really dope as well. Really enjoy Professor Dave. And he goes on and like debates people like the Terrence Howard types. If you know about like all the flat earth bullshit, Whitsitt, who's a moron. He goes on and debates him too. Destiny just debated Whitsitt, and it was one of the fucking, oh my God. My brain cells were literally fighting each other to get out. They're like climbing over each other to find the cliff to jump off of. Like, I can only watch so much of that shit. The conspiracy theorist shit is just like, I can't deal with it. Anyways, this is Professor Dave. He debunks a bunch of bullshit on the internet. Once again, if you don't know who Professor Dave is, you should go check out his channel. He is super duper dope. This is the dangerous rise of anti-intellectualism.
To start, I had hoped to work in this quote from Isaac Asimov. There is a cult of ignorance in the United States, and there has always been.
Let's see. Let me see. Let me make sure that I've got the right Discord link. Let's see. You can also friend request me. Okay. Okay. You can also send me a friend request. That's my Discord handle, and you can send that a friend request to me, and I can invite you guys that way as well, just so you guys know. If you guys have any problems, just send me a friend request on Discord. I'll accept it, and then and I'll invite you that way. Here we go.
The strain of anti-intellectualism has been a constant thread, winding its way through our political and cultural life, nurtured by the false notion that democracy means that my ignorance is just as good as your knowledge. This quote 100%. Is from 1980, and it's been echoed by other great thinkers like Carl Sagan, who spoke about the public being unable to grasp the technology we all use every day and having no ability to set their own agenda or ask the right questions, culminating in a celebration of ignorance. He said that in 1995. Even these two could not have foreseen how bad this has gotten in the 21st century, with people now questioning the shape of the earth and the validity of basic arithmetic.
Yeah, just think the Isaac Asimovs, the Carl Sagans of the world, like they probably thought by now in 2024, like that science would be so much further ahead. They probably thought at this point, like we would have abolished the ignorance of something like flat earth. Like we would have been like, these guys probably thought we would be so far ahead. If you told them that right now Donald Trump had a chance of being a president of the United States just 4 years after he tried to overturn an election and commit treason, no one would believe you. Not a single person. No Carl Sagan would believe that. No Isaac Asimov. Because for a long period of time, though things were ignorant, it wasn't as apparent. Because the internet has really brought all of this to the forefront. Like, I blame social media for a ton of this shit. Like, when I'm on X, like I said, like, it is literally bringing your IQ down, reading X. Like, it in no way is a benefit to society, in my opinion. There should be limits to the amount of social media any person ever ingests. Like, there should almost be restrictions on how much time you're allowed to spend on. Like, it should be like a store, right? Like, it should be like a store that is only open for certain hours of the day And you can participate during that time and then no more. Because the longer you exist within X, the longer you exist on social media, the dumber you seem to get. Holy shit. They'd never believe it.
Anti-science fervor makes us easy to manipulate because any contrarian message is bought en masse,
like that.
no matter who is telling it or what their motives are. We are witnessing a multimodal anti-science empire operating through mass media and legislation, moving towards state-sanctioned.
I gotta go back. Zane, you know somebody that says that that they think that Trump has been replaced with AI? No shit, dude. Like that's one of the things that people are going to have to be ready for too, is that the cult will change over the next little bit. The cult is going to go from like hardcore standing for Trump, like, you know, everything Trump does is good, everything Trump does is amazing, because at one point or another they're going to have to start coming up with excuses for his failures, right? So what they're going to probably do is they're probably going to switch up, and instead of saying things like, oh, it's not Trump's fault, or that like, oh, like Trump made mistakes or anything like that, most likely you're going to start getting some really weird conspiracies like Trump isn't Trump. Kind of like what you saw with when he got shot at. There was already Alex Jones and all these other like grifters that were saying like it was all set up, that it was like he's not actually Trump, that there was like they've replaced him, like all of this shit. So you can imagine that pretty soon all that stuff's going to get even worse and get even crazier.
Message is bought en masse, no matter who is telling it or what their motives are. We are witnessing a multimodal anti-science empire
That's like the,
operating
dead
through mass
internet
media
stuff.
and legislation, moving towards
dude, when he wanted Joe back.
state-sanctioned pseudoscience. And we don't have to speculate as to how harmful this can
hilarious.
be. We have history to reflect upon. Persecution of scientists under Stalin was widespread. Lysenko was a non-scientist who was promoted to a high scientific position under Stalin's regime, and who convinced Stalin that genetics and relativity were evil. He denied the existence of genes. To address agricultural problems, he promoted a pseudoscientific practice called vernalization, and millions died of starvation as a result of crop failures.
Dude, look at that dude. Dude, look at that dude. That man, if you saw that man on the street, you cross the goddamn street. If that dude is walking towards you, you feel like you're going to get hit with a baton or something like that. Like, that man is probably one of the most evil-looking motherfuckers I have ever seen in my entire life, and I grew up around skinheads. I literally grew up with people with swastikas tattooed on their face. And that dude is eviler than any of them that I ever saw in my life. That motherfucker wants you to join a cult, and he wants you to join it now, or he's going to make you join it, or else he's going to, like, steal your children and do things to your wife. He's probably going to do that anyways, actually.
Scientists who refused to renounce genetics were left diploms. He promoted a pseudoscientific practice called vernalization, and millions died of starvation as a result of crop failures. Scientists who refused to renounce genetics were left destitute or even executed. Are we at risk of repeating such events? Absolutely. Let's face reality. Trump is going to win the election. Could he bring a Lysenko-like figure into his cabinet and begin persecuting real...
Wait, Dave didn't just say that. Dave, don't say that, bro. Don't say that, Dave.
Could he bring a Lysenko-like figure into his cabinet and begin persecuting such events? Absolutely. Let's face reality. Trump is going to win the election. Could he bring...
Dave, don't say shit like that. Dave, how... This must be an older video. I think Dave was pre-Kamala. I'm hoping. Come on, Dave, don't say shit like that. Wow, that is harsh. He's harshing my buzz.
A Lysenko-like figure into his cabinet and begin persecuting real scientists? Absolutely. Will he try to expand executive power and abuse his position to the point of authoritarianism? Probably. And there are plenty of wealthy people who will help him try to do that. I won't go into detail about Project 2025, but it's not a conspiracy. It's a real plan to move America into the first stages of Christian theocracy, and it's already underway. This is the evil upon our doorstep, and while it should receive far more attention than people like...
I'm going to keep saying it. That's what I'm going to keep saying, is that he is going to start saying, over and over again, he's going to start saying that it is about to be... It's rig season. It's time. He's going to start claiming. I got you, Mama. I'm going to friend request you right now. he's going to start saying that it's all rigged. Like you're saying Harris in a landslide. I think he wants her to win in a landslide now. I think that he thinks that it's going to be much easier for him to claim that it was all rigged if things look like, let's say Kamala takes Wisconsin. Mama, I just sent you a friend invite. Let's say Kamala takes Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Arizona, like all the swing states. Let's say all the swing states go to Kamala. I think that that's what Trump wants right now. I think Trump wants either a victory, a flat-out victory for him, or a loss so bad that he can look and go, do you really think none of those people voted for me? It's all exactly what happened in Venezuela. It's just like Venezuela. The commies in Venezuela, the commies in America. They've stolen the election. You have to fight for me. You'll never be allowed to vote again. Like, that's what I think he's going to do. That's what I believe. Yeah, I'll get you an invite
Terrence
to the server
Howard,
too.
we should
Mama,
recognize that it's all different shades of the same phenomenon. Anti-science sentiment does not arise out of thin air. Science is becoming increasingly more complicated and therefore difficult for the public to understand.
Thank you!
And some people lash out due to the
Fuck, I've been saying that for so long, and that is that, like, science was hard enough 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. But science and technology itself self-replicates exponentially, as things like AI do. So it's going to get harder and harder for people to understand, which is going to make it harder and harder for people to believe. The further along things like AI get, the further along technology gets created into things like potentially stuff like quantum computers, those are things that no one is going to really actually be able to wrap their mind around. There's a point in time where AI or things like quantum computers would create what's called the singularity. And the singularity is, I have no idea where this goes from here. Like, my brain can't imagine anything further than this thing. And when that happens, and I already believe that it is happening, it's going to break people's brains. There are going to be people that they have not evolved mentally far enough into where technology and science is today that it's going to break them to the point that they're going to need to shut down and leave society because they're not going to be able to accept reality. In fact, they're going to claim that reality isn't reality. And we're already seeing that. We already see in the MAGA cult those exact things happening. People saying things like breaking their brains to the point where now they're claiming that, as someone had just said, that there's a potential that now they're going to claim that Trump isn't real. Because the further and further down that rabbit hole they go, the more extravagant and insane their excuses and reasons for why it exists or doesn't exist are going to be. So, like, I 100% what he just said about science moving forward and people not
complicated and therefore difficult for the public to understand. And some people lash out due to the discomfort this produces. But more importantly, there are vested interests in promoting
I'm good sometimes.
This
Sometimes I'm not.
Stemming from Republican-funded think tanks. The
I don't know
deliberate
much
sculpting
about,
of a populace that is not only science illiterate,
yet.
but actively hostile towards science.
AJ.
Denial of climate change is in the interest of energy producers. Denial of basic evolutionary biology is in the interest of Christian theocrats. These efforts go all the way up the ladder to figures like the Koch brothers. I'm not saying Terry's funded by the Koch brothers, but he rides this prevalent attitude of reality denial and hostility toward any form of expertise to this bizarre prominence that now has people questioning second-grade math. To wield an agenda that is in opposition with science, one must popularize the notion that science is wrong and evil. Universities, the places where you gain knowledge, are evil. Don't go there and learn things so that you can figure out how to resist our brainwashing.
I love
and
Professor
also how to
Dave,
organize and topple our political structures. Universities are famously places that stand up against the powers that be, so they must be demonized. It is a successful campaign because many people are happy to have a reason to not learn anything and cling to primitive beliefs without basis or self-scrutiny. It goes without saying that religion is a primary driver of anti-science mentality because scientific progress, particularly as of late, has challenged many religious narratives, such as immaculate divine creation. This triggers fear of mortality as their narrative is eroded, and they lash out in precisely the same way as one would defend themselves against physical violence, with hostility and tribalism. At the same time, this is not purely a religious issue. It has at this point completely permeated secular politics. I myself am not a Democrat, and I no longer vote.
And it's kind of sad, to be honest, because I want to say the Catholics and I know the Jewish religion both embrace science. Like, there's a lot of scientists that came from those areas because of the curiosity, the want to explore. I think even in Catholicism, it was like in some ways appreciated that science would be part of like God's creation, right? Like, so there was like, it was seen as research into godliness. Mind you, this is my opinion. I think God is a really like basic bitch kind of idea. I think that when people think about creation, that like trying to like reduce it down to there was a being that created all this is actually doing a disservice to if there was something that created everything. Boiling it down to just a being that created things would actually be doing it a disservice. I'm a secular humanist, so I'm not a religious person. So I've said this before about religion. I think religion as a whole is great for people that want to live by a certain set of rules, and as long as they live by those certain sets of rules, that I'm totally for it. I don't think that, you know, it matters what the reasoning behind why you want to be a good person is, as long as you are a good person. Now, myself, I'm a secular humanist, or as close to one as I can be, and just looking at it from my point of view, when I see people boiling it down to there's this being that created everything, like I said, I think that that's kind of like reductive. Like there's so much of a bigger idea that could be explored through something like science to find something that was bigger than God. Bigger, like a much more complicated, insane idea. And that kind of goes back to what he was saying about science being too much for people to understand. I think that's the same thing, is that like people need things boiled down to this like really basic reductive element that this is something that you can understand, when you should really probably be accepting that if it was something that all powerful, you couldn't possibly understand it. We haven't evolved mentally to a place where we could understand it. And that would be, in my opinion, the better route to go, because you could say to yourself, like, the reason this thing is omnipotent, the reason this thing is like beyond my understanding is because I'm not it. I'm just a small portion of it. So, like, I think it's really sad to hear that religion is actually becoming less scientific.
Time, this is not purely a religious issue. It has at this point completely permeated secular politics. I myself am not a Democrat, and I no longer vote Democrat out of total disillusionment with the party, as it does not have the best interests of the American people in mind. But the Republican Party is cartoonishly apocalyptic in comparison. Know nothing, proudly stupid, in denial of truly all science, actively pushing us back into the Dark Ages in terms of both ignorance and authoritarian control by the church. In the wake of this, to pretend that idiots like Terry should be given a voice is preposterous. He is not the culprit, but he exacerbates larger trends already in place. He does not deserve a platform.
That's true.
He is not part of any legitimate conversation, and most of the figures with any kind of expertise that shoehorn their way into the conversation have ulterior motives as well, and only serve to further confuse the public, like Eric. So let's get down to brass tacks. What is
And that really made me sad, because I thought Eric Weinstein did a good thing by attempting to like help Terrence Howard. Like, and I even thought that Eric Weinstein had did a good job of holding him accountable sometimes for his bullshit. And then I go and see Eric, you know, on X or whatever, and he's spewing bullshit too. And that's really fucking sad. I mean, I know his brother Brett is like just like triggered beyond existence right now. Like, Brett is literally on X right now telling people that if they vote for Kamala Harris, they're communists, that we're going to be a communist country. And that's like, that's slippery slope fallacy. That's something that he should know. Like, literally, I was just watching this video talking about how communism during McCarthy's age was used in an attempt to scare people, and how the slippery slope fallacism is 100%, you can apply it to communism. The idea that somewhere else something exists, and that is going to inevitably lead to these dominoes that are going to fall, and then everybody's going to be communist, just doesn't make sense when you actually apply the fallacy. Because as you look at the different places where it could deviate from that path and go off in like many different directions, the chance that because over in China they had communism, the chance that America then would 100% be communist as well just doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's why you should never live on the slippery slope. You should never live with these complete and utter fear that something happening somewhere else in the world means that it's going to happen here. And like it's just really sad to see people that are undeniably very smart people. They're very intelligent, as far as like their mental capacity goes, get broken and just kind of like get off path, just really get off path. And instead of like spending their time, and once again, I think this is social media's fault, spending their time like researching and doing like really like productive things, they're spending their time on X telling people that if they don't vote the right way, they're going to be communists. That's such a fucking, God, that's such a waste of such a strong intellect. Even when it comes to Elon's a fucking dipshit, and I defended him during a time when I wish I didn't because now I look like the asshole. But if Elon would just go fucking concentrate on SpaceX, on Tesla, I'd have zero problems with Elon. I don't give a fuck about him. But Elon being on X and spreading misinformation, he just literally shared a edited headline about what's going on in the UK right now, which was proven to be fake. And he took it down, but it wasn't until after millions of people had viewed it. It's like, you're wasting your time. Get the fuck off social media. Go build rockets. Go fucking build electric cars. I know he's not the one who does it, guys. I know that. But go do that shit. Get the fuck off social media. Like, stop. Like, I just want to see smart people go do smart things and get away from the internet and social media. I think the world would be such a better place if that would happen.
Intellectualism at its core. It boils down to three principles. 1, religious anti-rationalism, essentially emotions over facts.
I like that.
2, populist anti-elitism, or the rejection of intellectual institutions. And 3, instrumentalism, the belief that pursuit of knowledge only serves practical means, namely profit. This movement intends to halt the acquisition of new knowledge that would undermine groups with power and privilege. Misinformation that benefits those in power is perpetuated, and those who speak truth to that power are preemptively character assassinated.
Yeah, I've argued this point, Dark, in his defense before, and I'm pretty sure I came out on the losing end of this after about 10 years. So I'm not even going to try and defend Elon. I tried to defend him. I actually tell him on X, like, bro, I used to like stand up for you, and you're just making me look more like an asshole every single day by being the fucking moron you are on X. And like I said, I want to believe that it's the interaction with social media on the internet that is creating this point of view, but at this point I don't know, because I think that a smart person would have figured this shit out and taken himself away from that medium. So yeah, I can't argue that at all, Dark. You're going to win that argument probably every fucking time.
The educational sphere is not completely blameless, admittedly. Part of the disdain towards academia is fostered by the increasingly high cost of education. But this is not in itself a justification for abandoning the sanctity of centers of knowledge.
I look at the stars every night,
Corporations
Paul.
do not have their financial interests challenged when the public cannot even identify the issues that they are harmed by, thus perpetuating their own segregation. We can historically blame the fossil fuel industry, the tobacco industry, and so forth, but we do not extend this to scientific knowledge itself. Politicians, corporations, and religious institutions stand to benefit the most from promoting anti-intellectualism. They enact the politicization of nonpartisan issues, polarizing things like climate change so severely that simply acknowledging basic science gets one ostracized. This spills over into the social realm just as easily.
And if we're talking about fraud, too, so I posted something on X. Some dipshit on X said, women don't have hairy fingers. Like, dude, people are out of fucking control. People are so fucking stupid, it hurts. And like I said, it's mostly on X. So some dude said, women don't have hair on their fingers. And I said, this guy also believes that women don't, women don't have hair on their genitals. And it created this whole fucking thread of responses on X about like all of this dumb shit that people believe. But one of the things that got posted was somebody was talking about Elon, and they replied to my post with all of his former tweets when Dorsey owned Twitter, and it's all of his like tweets about climate change, all of his tweets supporting LGBT rights. It's all of his tweets talking about putting microchips in people's brains, which he doesn't even deny now. But I don't know how people don't see how much of a grift this is. I mean, these are the same people that are getting really upset that Kamala supposedly is walking back her positions, which she isn't. She actually isn't walking back those positions. The one video of her saying, what is it, that she wants to ban all guns is her making a mistake and then quickly correcting herself by saying she wishes to ban the import of guns. But people are like, she said that she wanted to ban all guns. Now all of a sudden she's walking that back. But, like, that's not actually what she said, and you've only seen an edited video, which makes sense because you're a fucking moron. But these tweets exist of Elon Musk talking about climate change, Elon Musk talking about AI, Elon Musk talking about his electric cars. Like, you know, there's all these tweets that he had came out with that now he's, like, completely had a 180 and decided that he's not for these things. But people have this like weird memory lapse where they're like, that doesn't exist. That time never happened. It is really strange.
Anti-intellectualism breeds nationalism, or the same blind allegiance to a governing body that is actively sowing the seeds of division. This is the reason for equating Black Lives Matter or any other kind of social justice with fascism, and the justification for this always involves inventing violent intent out of thin air. This in turn is used to justify a militarized police force under the guise of protection. And lastly, anti-intellectualism promotes being skeptical towards perceived authority while demanding that people blindly follow demagogues.
I have a friend who keeps telling me I'm making appeals to authority and doesn't understand what appeals to authority is, and I think that this is part of this problem. People have read stuff like that and thought they see something, and I do it too. I intuitively know what something should mean, and then I get excited about it and I use it before completely understanding like what it actually means, right? Like when I said slippery slope fallacy, I understood intuitively what slippery slope was. But once I like got into it and started looking into like how like the probability of math and percentages work when you have A to Z, and how each letter in between A and Z affects and deviates the plan or the path of where something is going, I understood it better. And one of the problems I think with what he's talking about right now is when you have the skepticism for authority is that people see things like, well, an appeal to authority is bad because that means that something, you're just going to believe something without looking into it. George Carlin said we should question everything. That's not what George Carlin meant. That's not 100% not what George Carlin meant. George Carlin meant you should question things. He didn't mean that you should never accept anything. And if I were to say to you that gravity exists because Einstein did these experiments to prove that it happened, you can't say that's an appeal to authority. That is literal evidence. That is literal proof of the existence of gravity. It is not an appeal to authority. Now, if I said that Einstein said you should brush your teeth, that would be an appeal to authority. Because in no way, shape, or form does Einstein have any kind of expertise in dental hygiene. But if I were to say, well, he has multiple master's degrees, multiple PhDs in math and physics, and he's one of the godfathers of quantum mechanics, none of that applies to whether or not your dental hygiene should be taken care of twice a day or once a day. That's an appeal to authority. An appeal to authority isn't saying this person who's an expert on this subject said this thing, therefore that is evidence. That is literally evidence. And that's what I think people have really, and I blame Joe Rogan for this. This is Joe Rogan's fault. Joe Rogan started if you believe something, you should be able to debate it. But the problem with that, and the reason that people like Peter Hotez said they wouldn't debate RFK Jr. on vaccines, is because Peter Hotez is a vaccine scientist. He's going to use his actual professional expertise to say that vaccines do not cause autism, and here is why. And then you're going to have RFK go, well, if you look at this thing, that goes to 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 this thing, which, by the way, is a conjuncture fallacy, which creates a house of cards that is easily toppled by just destroying one of those facts. He's never going to admit it, though. So it doesn't make sense. But people have been encouraged by people like Joe Rogan to believe that their little bit of research on the internet and YouTube and TikTok and memes is just as valuable as an expert's, and that's fucking insane, and it's detrimental to society.
Who are amplified by social media. People who fall into this way of thinking will place an unreasonable level of skepticism on the body of knowledge produced by tens of thousands of scientists
you don't like my music?
operating all over the world under every type of government
We
and
need
in
George
both the
Conner right
public
now.
and
Damn
private
right.
sector. Yet they place absolutely zero scrutiny on the figures who confidently feed them the narratives they enjoy, which are riddled with distortion and
Ashkenazi
fabrication
Jews.
almost without exception.
You don't.
These people find comfort in
Like,
the strength and
specifically.
confidence such figures convey in an appeal to shared beliefs. That's why Trump famously stated that he could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose any voters, because their idolization of him is emotional, not logical.
Exactly.
In the end, and here comes Dave the broken
symbolism,
record,
not substance.
anti-science mentality and reality denial is the single greatest threat facing mankind.
Thank you,
Take a
Professor
movie
Dave.
like Don't Look Up.
Capture
Though obviously
Rogan
satirical,
2024.
the manner in which
If
the
you
general
want
public in
idiocracy,
this
that's how
modern
you get
era would
idiocracy.
react to any existential threat was depicted magnificently. There is no issue that could be more nonpartisan
Why not
than
Terrence
a
Howard
comet
Rogan
coming to
2024,
kill us
Rev?
all. And yet, the comet was
That's my
hyper-politicized.
question.
People were brainwashed into believing the comet didn't exist, and a megalomaniacal tech oligarch fucked.
Dude, that movie was insane. If you've never seen Don't Look Up, you should watch Don't Look Up. Like, if you want to be if you really want to be just like have the shit scared out of you, like in a very funny, comical way, I know that's weird to say, watch Don't Look Up. And I won't spoil it for you, but the ending is incredibly important, because 99% of that movie is just fucking with you, and the last 1% of Don't Look Up is just emotionally devastating. If you are capable of critical thinking, if you are capable of watching that movie and dissecting like the meaning of what they do at the end, you will literally sit back and cry a little bit. You'll be like, holy fuck. It's super impactful, and it's actually for the first 99% that you're not going to believe this, but it's actually an incredibly artistic movie in the way that it handles such a complicated and important problem as climate change and other things to do with it.
Us all. In my estimation, that is roughly what would happen
That's a
if
good
there
question,
were another
Ars.
far
That's
deadlier
actually a really good
pandemic
question. I don't
or
know
some
the
other
answer to
such
that, whether or not if
situation.
Biden dies
And the
in
culprit
before
is
January.
not the scientific
I don't know the answer
community.
to that.
It's
Somebody
the
answer that
pundits
for
and
her.
demagogues
For me,
who
too.
abuse the power of the internet to warp public perception of reality. People like Rogan are not the main culprits, but they also are not blameless
not the
and
main.
deserve their share of criticism for amplifying the chaos
I'm
for
not
monetary
sure you
gain.
don't.
And sadly, other than directly neutralizing sources of disinformation and promoting general science
Impactful.
literacy, I don't have a meaningful solution to this doomsday recipe. I don't know how to fundamentally change human nature to be either less
Einstein
corrupt
was
and
able to
manipulative
prove everything
or
that
less
he believed,
blindly
yeah.
credulous.
And that which he
I will
couldn't
admit my
prove,
youthful
he
optimism
admitted
has
he
been
couldn't prove.
diminished as I enter middle age, but I'm not giving up just yet.
I am
Hashtag
proud to
Union.
have Tim Walz as my...
Let's check on this. Let's go back and check on this speech. I want to get a copyright for this stuff. No music. Are they still playing music? Yeah, they're still playing music. So anyways, that is Professor Dave. If you've never watched Professor Dave and you want to see yeah, he was a socialist. He was not religious until World War II, and then he really started to kind of embrace his Jewish heritage. But people tend to use his quote where he says God doesn't play dice as evidence that he was in some way religious, but that's actually a bit of a misnomer. He was not like religious in that manner. He just believed that everything had a way of being explained. And like Einstein was the type of dude that if he said, if you hit a pothole on the way to work and you said, man, that was bad luck, he'd be like, there is no such thing as luck. Like, you were driving at a certain speed in a car that was a certain weight, and, you know, rain had eroded. Like, he believed that, like, everything, which he's right, there is no such thing. It is all a set of conditions that lead to an outcome. It does not mean, you know, God hated you that day, or that, you know, you're fucking, what is it, Saturn's in retrograde or Mercury's in retrograde. That it's a set of conditions that lead to an outcome. That's what he believed. Did I give you guys? Yeah. So that's Professor Dave. Should totally give Professor Dave a subscribe as well. Super dope. Google says she can still serve 2 terms. Nice. All right. Well, that's actually, that makes me feel better. And R's wife just taught me something. That makes me feel way better, because I'd fucking hate for that to happen. Let's watch some more JD Vance weirdness with our boy Adam Mockler. Adam Mockler did a video, and I believe this is going to be talking about JD Vance wearing eyeliner. I think JD Vance's wife may have admitted it. Let's check it out.
Wow, so JD Vance's wife has officially come out and addressed the speculation on whether the VP nominee wears eyeliner or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Usha Vance, the wife of Donald Trump's historically unpopular VP pick, has been doing some interviews, making the rounds, and this may be my favorite headline to come out of all of the articles that followed, but she talked about JD Vance's past, his history of controversial remarks, and even clarified whether or not he wears eyeliner. And come on, just look at his eyes. You cannot convince me that these are natural eyelashes. You cannot convince me that he is not wearing eyeliner in this photo. But
dude, 100%. There is no way. And look, this is the fucking weird part about this. We all know these dudes wear makeup. This is not new. This isn't some kind of like, you know, it just in 2010 people started getting crazy, and that's when all the men started wearing makeup and stuff. It got out of control. It was like, you know, men used to be men, and now all of a sudden men, they're wearing makeup. Like, no. There's fucking pictures of fucking guys back in like the 1800s wearing makeup. It's fucking weird that everybody's getting so strange about all of these subjects. Who the fuck cares? I don't give a fuck if JD Vance cares about wearing makeup, but apparently JD Vance cares about wearing makeup. Just fucking say you do, dog. Own that shit. I tell people all the time, honesty is the best policy. When I was a kid, I grew up really fucking poor, and there's a constant fight for your place within the hierarchy when you're poor. There's a constant fight, you know, in regular life when you're doing that too. But specifically when you're poor, you're constantly fighting for your place in hierarchy, which makes you tend to be dishonest more often. Because it's like an easy path, right? You get people that want to talk like they can fight, that can't fight. You know, you get people that talk about that they have money that they don't have. You got people that are con artists and scammers, and they find their way into a higher portion of the hierarchy. And when I was a kid, I'd tell people my dad was rich. I'd tell them, you know, the bike I had was worth $3,500, which is a really stupid idea because then I got my bike stolen. That shit was karma. Honesty is the best policy. Look, dog, if you wear makeup, don't fucking, like, own that shit. Say it with your chest. Be like, yeah, I like a little eyeliner, dog, a little blush. Makes me look okay. I can't wear makeup, because if I wear makeup, fucking my skin would probably break out in 19 different types of psoriasis, because I'm a ginger and we have sensitive skin, okay? But I'm telling you this right now, if I could, and I didn't have to be this ugly motherfucker, I'd probably make it happen. Not gonna lie. My wife would probably be happy if I did put on some blush, okay?
In this photo. But before I break down this article, I want to talk about something slightly more important.
They were
JD
fabulous,
Vance's wife,
Squid.
My husband only meant to insult people who actively choose not to have kids, not people who are trying but are unsuccessful. And that is essentially what she said in more words or less, while trying to defend her husband's abhorrent statements about women, about childless cat ladies, about people being sociopathic. I mean, JD Vance, every time he opens his mouth, he makes the situation much worse. But every time I see an older video of him from 2019 to 2023, I just know he's about to say something incredibly sexist. Make sure you leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Let's dig in. Usha Vance did not touch on JD Vance's claims that people who don't have kids are more sociopathic. Usha Vance took a stab at defending JD Vance's childless cat lady's remark on Monday, saying in an interview that her husband, who has also said people without kids are more likely to be mentally unstable sociopaths, would never want to hurt people trying to have kids. The problem is...
Which I push back against 100%. As a parent, I can tell you this right now. Children definitely increase your chance of being mentally insane. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, all right? Like, you ain't got no kids. You fly into fucking Cabo. You fly into Fiji. You're just like some Instagram influencer because you got time. Your kids ain't like coming in the middle of your stream and asking for fucking milk and cookies and shit like that. Like, I can vouch for anybody with children that you are much more likely to be mentally ill or insane if you have children. I mean, just the idea of having children, like, you had to be a little bit off when you made that decision. If somebody told you, if you had two choices, and that choice was, you are going to have these two kids, you're going to love them, they're going to be fucking amazing, they're awesome, they are the greatest part of my life. You're going to get that out of it, but they're going to cost you somewhere in the realm of $150,000 to $300,000 in their lifetime. Or you could take that $150,000 to $300,000 and go on vacations like for the rest of your fucking life. And you were like, I'm gonna have them kids. I would look at you like you're insane. I love my kids. My kids are fucking amazing, but my kids are actually really well behaved too. So, like, I seen some of them bad children. I was one of them bad children, to be fucking honest. I'm pretty sure that my parents were insane because of me too. So, and my dad wasn't even around.
Just the heathens who actively choose not to have them, you see, says the person writing this article. Speaking to Fox News' Ainsley Earhart for a pre-recorded interview that aired this morning, this was a few days ago, the would-be second lady insisted the vice presidential candidate would never, ever want to say something to hurt someone who is trying to have a family. She then claimed that if people would take a moment to try to, quote, understand the context of her husband's comments and focus less on the, quote, three-word phrase, they would understand that he was simply arguing that, quote, it can be really hard to be a parent in this country, and sometimes our policies are designed in a way that make it even harder. I mean, that is an understatement. The Republican Party designs policies to intentionally make it harder to raise children, to make sure that children are hungry in schools, or that you don't have subsidized daycare, or that families are struggling.
I literally grew up off of fucking social safety
They don't care about the child after they are born. Apparently, it's a life when it's in the womb, but after that,
own it, JD
cares? But in the process of trying to defend JD Vance, it seems like Usha really made the situation worse. I mean, she's muddying the waters. She's trying to run defense while simultaneously claiming that JD Vance never actually said these things, but if he did say them, it would be okay.
I mean, you gotta be honest, though. Like, it's probably tough to be Usha, okay? Like, you come home, and your dude is elbow deep in the couch cushion, just fucking riding the handle of the door. Just... Your man's having a gangbang with the furniture. You know, he's got one hand inside the couch cushions. He's got his legs wrapped around an armrest. He's jerking off the blender. I'm just saying, that's not something that any woman wants to come home to. Okay.
Worse. I mean, she's muddying the waters. She's trying to run defense while simultaneously claiming that JD Vance never actually said these things, but if he did say them, it would be okay. Here's the clip of Usha Vance.
Can you imagine Usha's like, she's like, let's go, we gotta go, it's dinner time, let's go. And he's like, I will be there in a minute, okay? I haven't even got my mascara on. You just own it, JD. It's okay. We will support you, brother. We will support you so hard.
Offended or were hurt by that? Well, I think I would say...
I do agree with that, Nancy.
First of all,
she probably deserves that
JD
shit.
Absolutely, at
right
the
on the
time
couch
and
eating
today,
fish
would
fingers.
never, ever want to say something to hurt someone who was trying to have a family, who really, was struggling with that. And he made that clear at the time, and he's made that clear today. And we have lots of friends who have been in that position. It is challenging, and
he has not made that clear. I mean, he's muddied the waters. He's basically doubled down, and then he decided to pivot and attack Tim Walz's military record. But the thing is
fucking
it's kind
insane.
of sad because I've read articles, I've read
Just
reports
do it
that
in the car!
Vance was somewhat liberal in the past. I mean, J.D. Vance used to be somewhat center-right, a never-Trumper. Of course, he changed. But Usha Vance apparently hated January 6th, was somewhat liberal and very, very accepting, and now it feels like she probably got shoehorned into this position. Who knows? Maybe she is actually far right or whatever.
Yeah, maybe she is. But it is weird how many people have grifted onto the right, and I still believe to this day that the reason that they've made this move, whether it's Russell Brand or is J.D. Vance, J.D. Vance's wife, like Rogan, I think Rogan made the mistake of venturing into right-wing ideologies and found himself pigeonholed in that area, and I don't think he's getting out of that shit. But Elon Musk, all of these people, Dave Portnoy, I mean, Portnoy might have actually been a Republican before this, but there's a big difference between conservatives and MAGA Republicans. Being a conservative and being a MAGA Republican, there is a difference between the two. I feel like people see how easy it is to grift, and I can say this, that there's multiple lanes for people in the MAGA area to make money off of. I think I just said it to my stepbrother who was seeing the channel every once in a while, Redonk, on my last video I did. I just made a video reacting to Jordan Klepper going down to Pennsylvania, or maybe it was New Jersey, and asking people in the MAGA cult why they're weird and what they don't like about Kamala. And he said something about merch, and I said, I need to hire the merchandisers for Trump because they're the only like actually successful and competent people in his campaign. And that's 100%. Like the people that do the merchandise in his campaigns are fucking like they're making tons of money. They travel around with these rallies and they sell a fuck ton of merchandise to these people that claim they don't have any money. Like, I think that there are so many lanes that exist in the MAGA grift, that it's very much like a pyramid scheme. There's different levels to it. And obviously, people like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, tend to occupy the highest levels of it. But there's a lot of levels of profitability within the pyramid scheme. And then the foundation, obviously, is all the people that are giving them their money, either in donations or buying merchandise. Like, that's like, it seems super apparent. Like, if you are an African-American man or woman, and you want the easiest grift of all time, this is not financial advice, but you want the easiest grift of all time, all you have to do is make reaction videos to MAGA topics and just say things like, oh, like, yeah, actually, like, that's like that whole white guilt thing is crazy. Like, y'all don't need to be all like that. You don't need to have like that mentality. Slavery is actually black people's fault, not your fault. Like things like that. Because if you look at it, if you go and watch these reaction videos that I'm talking about, you'll see in the comments so many white people that are like, thank you so much for coming out and telling the truth. This is all bullshit. Like, and it is relatively easy to grift. I picked the worst possible streaming choice. I picked a oversaturated market where you have all these people that are already doing political content. There is no grift. I can tell you. There's no grift. You don't make any money. And you're literally just here to be like, I hope things get better for everybody. Which it's not a good selling point. There's no good selling point to let's be positive and have like, things get better. There's a ton of money in fear, hate, and vitriol, not so much in hope and positivity. Like I said, not financial advice to you guys though, okay?
In fact, that's not actually what one takes away from the Ohio Senator's conversation with
I
Tucker
agree
Carlson
with that, Dark.
in 2021,
I agree with
only
that.
3 years ago, during
they
which he said, quote,
come out
we're effectively
and
running
speak
this
out
country by a bunch of childish cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. Vance then name-checked Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, and AOC as being among the childish people who turned our country over to, who don't have have a stake in it. Number one, AOC is like 32 years old.
Nancy, because of Peter Thiel.
By 32. Number two, Pete Buttigieg does have multiple kids. That is just a homophobic remark. And number three, that is way worse than the remarks that Usha Vance was trying to defend. She was trying to gaslight us into thinking that JD Vance didn't really say anything that was that bad. The remarks weren't that terrible, but no. That was an intentional
if I am
takedown of
Benji,
people who
I'm not
don't
doing a
have
good
kids
job.
And you can't convince me otherwise. On to this article.
Let's just say I ain't quitting my career right now.
Speculation that the VP nominee wears eyeliner. And this has been a massive focus. Number one, we don't care if JD Vance is wearing eyeliner. We care that he's such a hypocrite that he'll put on makeup, then try to strip rights away from other men who want to wear makeup for other reasons. So, this article reads, the wife of Republican vice presidential candidate JD Vance is claiming her husband doesn't wear eyeliner despite some beauty experts insisting otherwise. When Puck asked Usha...
And see, that's what makes it weird, okay? It's this necessity to defend yourself against something that, like, it isn't that big of a deal. Like, it really isn't, but it is on the right. Because they have so much insecurity about their own masculinity that if JD Vance comes out and says that he does wear eyeliner, if JD Vance says that he does wear makeup, even though we all know every one of these fucking people wear makeup, they're so insecure about their own masculinity that they will not admit to it. And that's fucking insane, because something I learned a long time ago, actual, like, real, like, confidence, and if you want to apply masculinity to it, because I don't think it needs to even be masculine, confidence comes from what you do, the way that you hold yourself. I used to have, I've had a lot of young people that work for me, right? I have a lot of people that are between the ages of like 18 and like 24 that work for me. And one of the people that worked for me was a really young dude, and he was very popular in high school. And he's a musician, he's part of the drum club, very popular kid. And when he came to work for me, one of the first things he told me is, I'm very confident. And I said, well, you don't tell people you're confident. We see you're confident. That's how we know you're confident. And no, I'm like super confident. I'm like overconfident. I'm the most confident. What people need to understand is confidence comes from experience and know-how, and it comes from the doing. Confidence does not come from the talking. It comes from the doing. People will know you're confident because they see the way that you perform your duties, the way that you perform through life. Confidence is not something you can speak to. Like I've told many managers that I've managed before, and people above me as well, is that a leader doesn't tell people they're the leader. They show them they're the leader. A manager doesn't tell people they're the manager. It should never be questioned that they're the manager. Their authority comes from what they do, not from what they say. When it comes to something like eyeliner, when it comes to something like masculinity, when it comes to something like confidence, there's absolutely no reason to cover things up. Earlier I said honesty is the best policy. I literally mean that. I do not give a fuck if people know things about me, because yes, there are things about my life when I was younger that I did to survive that I could be ashamed of, that I'd be embarrassed by, but I did those things. And if somebody were to call me on those things, I would both accept them and then tell you the stories about them. In fact, sometimes people take it the wrong way and think that I am laughing about things that are wrong, but I'm actually laughing because they're absurd and I lived through these things. And that's okay. It's all right. That's confidence. That's strength. If you wear eyeliner, dog, just go, yeah, I wear fucking eyeliner, and you know I look fucking fabulous. Say something.
Vance about rumors the 40-year-old conservative uses guyliner to draw attention to his baby blues. She told the online news outlet that his look is all natural. Leave a comment letting me know if you think that look is natural, and I want to hear from you guys. I really
he might be Oxford.
You guys
he might be making the move.
They're all natural, Usha Vance reportedly said in a written statement. I've always been jealous of those lashes. There's been much speculation about Vance's eyes since he became Donald Trump's running mate at last month's RNC in Milwaukee. Publications including Slate have taken a long, hard look into JD Vance's eyes, while the author of Slate's story expressed a, quote, gut feeling the VP nominee doesn't wear some sort of eye makeup. That sentiment hasn't been universal, particularly among people in the beauty industry. I can't believe it's up for debate, beauty partner Dana Amari
I do accept grifting in
tequila. Yes, he wears eyeliner. Usha Vance met her husband while they were students at Yale Law School in the early 2010s. friends. They got married in 2014. When Vance received the nomination to run with Trump last month, Usha introduced him with a comment about his looks, the one that didn't involve his striking lashes. It's funny because every single time Donald Trump is asked about whether he's happy he chose JD Vance, all he says is, well, the VP pick doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really
I'm
matter.
told by people that the VP doesn't matter anyways, which is a roundabout, long way of
Damn
saying,
right you don't.
no, I should have chosen somebody better, but at this point, it doesn't matter.
You don't. You know, you guys probably all watched 300. Back in the day when 300 first came out, and this is before I like really even like educated myself to a lot of stuff, right? Like, this is probably like still fresh out of the trailer park, still pretty ghetto, still pretty like moronic, angry ginger, all right? And me and my wife were watching 300, and there's that scene, what's his name, Gerard Butler? Is that who plays Leonidas in 300? There's that scene where he's just had relations with his wife, and they're in Greece, and he goes out and stands on the roof of the house that they live in, and he's like, he got his loincloth on, and that's it, and he's just like standing there, and I was like, damn. I was like, I might go gay for Leonidas. And my wife was like, what? I was like, no joke, dude. Like, that motherfucker's beautiful. Holy shit. It blew my wife's mind. I don't think she had ever heard me say some shit like that. I was like, damn, look at you, son. Fucking flex.
Doesn't hurt me, which I guess we will see, because JD Vance's pick came at a critical moment when the Republican Party was already bleeding with
Benji.
women voters.
That was me
and JD Vance did not help with suburban women, bleeding with Muslim voters, Black American voters. This article reads, Harris leads Trump in 3 key states. Times.
What was the name of the group? I forgot the group. It was like the something fellows or something like that. But it was Alexander the Great, when he started his invasions and started to take over all the territories the Macedonians took over during that time. One of their first battles was with, I want to say, God, was it? It wasn't the Spartans. I can't remember what the first city was that they attacked, but when they fought him, they fought against that group of men, and it was, God damn it, I can't remember the name of it. But it was gay couples. It was men that were fighting alongside their partner, and Alexander the Great was like, they literally would not give up because their partner was also one of them, and they fought to the last man. And Alexander the Great had a statue erected in their name. It's like one of those crazy things. No, he eventually fought the Persians, but this was the Greek. I'm trying to remember what city. It wasn't like Thermopylae or something like that. I forgot what the first city was that he invaded. One of the first cities he invaded. But he had to defeat the Greek before he went to fight the Persians, because the Greek are right on their doorstep. So, I mean, I got the book right here. This is the book that, like, this is a really good book. I'm not going to be able to find it right away. But it's a something company, and they were, it was gay couples. And they were one of the greatest fighting units of that time because they were so connected to their partners. Never leave their friends behind.
Poll finds, and this article came out this morning, August 10th. New surveys of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania taken this week offer the latest indication of a dramatic reversal in standing for the Democratic Party since President Biden abandoned his re-election bid.
It might have been
and in
Athens.
all of the key swing states, or the big three at least, Michigan,
Athens.
Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, Harris is leading by 4 points, and all of them 50 to 46. Look at this chart.
This is what I'm saying.
I
think he's setting himself up.
Amazing news.
I think he
VP
sees
Kamala
this.
Harris leads former President Donald J. Trump in 3.
And the funniest part about this is, like, I don't have a lot of trust for polls. So when I hear stuff like this, I don't really believe it. Like, I'm 100%, everybody should put polls out of their mind and just do the fucking thing. Get up off the couch. JD, stay on the couch. That's where that's your safe space. Stay on the couch, JD. Everybody else needs to get off the couch and go fucking vote. Fuck polls. Fuck polls. Not actually, JD. Not actually. Jesus Christ. Just in case he's watching while he's putting on his mascara. Everybody needs to get the fuck off the couch and go vote. Doesn't fucking matter what the polls say. But you know who cares what the polls say? Donald Trump. And I bet you Donald Trump is like, he is up at 4 a.m, probably looking at every single poll. You guys know what I'm saying? Every single poll he could possibly look at. And I think that he's literally depressed. Because if you know anything about narcissists aren't actually super confident. Narcissists are actually incredibly insecure, and they use a facade to make it seem as though they're confident. So that's why they're constantly in your face, and they're constantly overwhelming you with their personality, because they want you to believe that they're not insecure because they are insecure. So I think Donald Trump is a deeply insecure person. I think that he is a narcissist, like clinically. I think he actually is a narcissist. And I think that he's been looking at all these polls and stuff, and it's getting to him and depressing him. And I think that it's setting him up to say that everything is rigged, everything is stolen, and he's just given up. That's how I feel about it. We're going to see what happens in the debate. I think he's going to get fucking crushed in the debate, and I think that's going to be the end. I really legitimately believe he's just going to go to claiming that the election is stolen. But these polls do seem to show that Harris has made a huge impact in all these swing states.
The crucial battleground states,
Sacred band.
According to a new survey by the New York Times and Siena College. Mrs. Harris is ahead of Mr. Trump by 4 percentage points in Wisconsin,
I love all that
Pennsylvania,
history.
and Michigan.
Back when the History Channel used to actually be fun to watch.
Voters in each state. The surveys were conducted from August 5th to 9th, so they barely even captured the Tim Walz effect.
It's almost football season already.
Tim Walz has just started campaigning alongside VP Harris.
So
and again,
happy.
VPs really don't
best
have
90
that
days
much
of our
of
lives.
a sway, but when somebody is as cool as Tim Walz and when somebody is as weird as JD Vance, I think it really could help voters understand which party is the normal party. The polls, some of the first high-quality surveys in those states since Mr. Biden announced he would no longer run for re-election.
Oh, God.
These are some of the first high-quality
just say it,
surveys.
Kamala. I'll say it. Fuck it, I'll say it.
Maybe gotten 1 or 2 other high-quality surveys, but this is a big one. Come after nearly a year of surveys that showed either a tied contest or a slight lead for Mr. Trump
so
over
good
President
last year.
Biden.
I'm stoked for your season,
same
Dark
methodology.
Cash.
It shows Harris up by 4 points. And again,
all
that matters is that
on
we actually vote on November 5th. I don't want to instill a false sense of confidence in any of you. If you guys are watching this but you're not planning on voting, then what are you doing? The only thing that matters is the poll on November 5th. Are you going to show up and vote? On that note,
Can you imagine if Donald Trump, during the debates, quotes fucking TV Hercules? He quotes Kevin Sorbo, and he's like, Kamala won't even say the N-word. I asked her, I said, if you're black like Kevin Sorbo said, like Hercules. I told Kamala, he keeps calling, does anybody know why he calls her Kamala? It's fucking stupid. I told Kamala, I said, if you're not an Indian, then say the N-word. But she won't do it. I'll prove to you right now. I'll show you all. I'm more black than Kamala. I'll say the N-word. Like, can you see, like, the fucking moderator coming up over the table like, no! Fucking trying to tackle Donald Trump before he gets the N-word out. They're like, God, no! The great Hannibal Lecter, he said the N-word. He's more black than Kamala has ever been. He was white, but then he said the N-word. And apparently, they'll tell you this, they've said it. It's tremendous the way it works. It's the best. It turns you black. It does. God, I can't wait. It's gonna be so amazing. Did you guys see Willie Brown say that like Donald Trump's gonna get fucking wrecked in the debates because he's inept and that he was never in that helicopter with Donald Trump? God, at this point Donald Trump is just making shit up. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Right. Now, like I said, guys, a lot of these speeches, they've just been doing the same speeches at campaigns. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, go ahead and go check it out. But for the most part, if this is just a repeat of the speech that I've seen like 6 times at this point, we're probably going to watch something else. But let's check out the rally and see how it was going.
Who's excited to see the next
First of all, look at the happiness. That's like the first part.
My name is Tilly Torres.
Right away.
I'm an English teacher right here in Las Vegas. I've been teaching in Clark County for over 24 years. I'm also a mother of 3 beautiful adult children, and they are all
Why is PBS always so low?
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher because I saw education for what it really was, the greatest instrument of social justice in this country. I grew up in Hawaii, and I worked full-time for most of my high school and college. I also took care of my mom, who was disabled. We were in and out of homelessness, but as a first-generation college student, I needed to take out loans.
Oh, Trump way repeats himself worse. I don't have a problem with him reciting his speech. Like I said before, it's like that's what you should be doing. You're not gonna just like say all the good shit you have at one place. You take that shit everywhere you go. I have no problem with him doing a speech. I just don't want to watch it 7 times.
Sadly, life happened a few years after I graduated. I was diagnosed with cancer. Between fighting cancer, caring for my husband.
This one is Nevada, I think.
Becoming a mom,
it might be in Vegas.
I wasn't able to make regular payments.
That's where Willie Brown was heading, to Vegas. Hopefully it's not Virginia City.
Years old, after making those regular payments for almost 30 years on a loan of $40,000, I somehow still owed $87,000.
And isn't that crazy? We all agree that the loan system is super predatory. I mean, across the board. It doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right. Like, everybody agrees that the loan system is super predatory. Everybody agrees that banks fucking suck and take advantage of people. And the left goes, okay, so let's do something about this. Let's fucking, like, hold them accountable. Kamala's actually great for it because she sued people like Comcast, like Corinthians College. She sued, Big Pharma. She's, and won, by the way. $1.1 billion Kamala Harris took Corinthians College to task for. Comcast, she won $58 million on. Chase and all those other big banks that had predatory loans for people on their houses and mortgages during the 2008 foreclosures and collapse of the housing market. She took all of those people to task and sued them. We should all be able to agree that something like that should be fucking just taken down. And yet, for some reason, people on the right refuse to get on board with it. It's so insane.
I thought, honestly, I would be saddled with that terrible debt for the rest of my life. And it was my daughter who told me about President Biden and Vice President Harris's actions to fix public service loan forgiveness. I applied. I didn't think much of it. I had zero hope. But I got to tell you, when I got that letter from the Department of Education...
Yeah, they own the banks. That's why. That's what you call dark.
It was the best day of my life. The wave of relief that I felt, it's indescribable. Because of the Biden-Harris administration, for the first time, I have financial freedom. As a teacher, I routinely tell my students the same thing I learned growing up, that education is the key to opportunity.
Yeah, you saw a BBC interview, Paul? That's pretty eye-opening, isn't it?
I believe it too. But when I look at Donald Trump, I see someone who wants to take away
Yeah, Nancy, he was one of the people that got in trouble. What up, EDB?
His Project 2025 agenda is calling for completely eliminating the Department of Education. As a public school teacher, that's terrifying. There could not be anything more fundamentally different between Donald Trump's backwards vision for our America and Kamala Harris's vision for our progress. When I look at Kamala Harris, I see someone who represents my family and understands the struggles of everyday Americans like me.
It was so different. Even the people that talk.
Of a working mother too. She even worked at
I think she's Hispanic, EDB. I guarantee it.
And in November,
this woman guaranteed fucking puts it down.
Her the next president of the United States. That's what America is, and that's what we stand for. Kamala's vision for America is an America you and
I just had some burrito yesterday.
And let me just say, as a teacher, I could not be more excited about future Vice President.
This is why the culinary union the culinary union endorsed Kamala today.
I knew that
fried chicken and mashed potatoes, no okra.
Teacher,
my mom's Southern. I'm not that Southern, ours wife. Oh, she's Hawaiian? That's funny, Dark Cash. I married my wife because she looks Latina, but she's actually Hawaiian. None of that fiery shit.
And coach his football team to state championships.
I don't want to get beat up by my wife.
Of cake.
Latinas can scrap, dude. Hawaiians.
And I know
all the olive skin, none of the anger issues.
To get Kamala and Tim over the finish line. Now, I heard it's a little cold up there in Minnesota. That's where Tim's from. So let's
Manic, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never, ever,
welcome to the next Vice President of the United
I don't doubt that, EDB.
Tim Walz.
I do not doubt that. I think that's a statistic. I will straight up spread that misinformation. Okay, can you guys stop playing popular music? This is how I get fucking copyright strikes. Tim Walz is trying to get my channel taken down. Dude, Bruce Springsteen, he's like, you can use my shit. Please use my shit.
Wow. Hey.
No, I have not seen that, Bill. I'm going to have to watch that now, though.
Wow.
Dark, that is, my friend.
Wow.
That is dangerous territory. Not the Philippines. I mean your wife.
Thank you. Well, hello, Las
Vegas. Yeah, I remember that shit.
No,
took it, not a word.
Some of you spent the week Googling Minnesota a little bit and to figure out.
Yeah, I saw Celine Dion get pissed, dude.
Here's the one thing I can tell you about us. We spend about half our lives talking about the weather.
That poor dude.
So I want to say thank you to all of the people.
Oh, you know Mellencamp totally approves.
To remind me that it's a dry heat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So,
sun is fake. All right.
So's your damn oven, but you know that's. I'm melting like a
snowman
outside, but look, this is incredible, and I want to say a thank you to a few folks I had the privilege of working with when I served in Congress. You have two of the best senators you could ever hope for.
That's dope. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the biggest difference.
Senator Cortez Masto and Senator Rose.
Like, the biggest difference between these types of rallies. Like, if you set me down, if I had no idea about anything to do with American politics, and you sat me down to watch a Kamala Harris, Tim Walz rally, and then you had me sit down and watch a Donald Trump, J.D. Vance rally, there's no fucking way I'm picking the Donald Trump, J.D. Vance ticket. Because Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they just have a much more, like, positive, like, strong, like, happy, like, outlook on things. There's so much more, like, hope, and, like, it just, like, engenders a good feeling. Where, like, the Donald Trump... Not to mention the pacing of the way that Donald Trump speaks is like really like hard to deal with in the first place, but like just the message, it's fear, it's anger, it's worry, it's negativity. It's like if you made me sit down and just watch both of these people and I had no idea policy wise what they were gonna do, I would pick Harris and Walz. And then if you told me what their policy differences were, I would pick Harris and Walz. but just viscerally. And I'm not a person that believes that you should vote based off symbolism or what you see. I think you should base your vote off of policy and make decisions that really do affect your life, and vote in your own interests. And this is why I tell people, I don't tell them who they should vote for. I just want them to see me use my mind so that way they know that they can use theirs. You should critically think about it. You should accept what both parties bring and what potentially would be the outcome if either person were to become the president of the United States, and then vote based off of that. But if I were to look at, like, viscerally off this, because I hear people saying this shit all the time and it drives me nuts, but I keep hearing people say that this is a vibes election, and I don't agree with going off of vibes, but the one thing I will agree with is that it is a much better feeling watching these types of rallies than it is watching the Trump J.D. Vance rallies.
And just as a side note, there's lots of commonalities here. It may not be the weather. We walk on water half the year. It's so damn cold, but that's what we are. But we have something in common. Both Minnesota
what up,
and
LB?
Nevada have 2 women senators, and that's a pretty good thing. Huge thank you to Congressman Horsford, Congresswoman
Like, he
Lee,
actually thanks the other people. He, like, thanks
and
other
a
people
longtime
without
friend
some
I
kind of
served with,
caveat that they
Congresswoman
support him.
Titus. Great.
Like, that's like, it feels good, right? Like someone saying that, hey, I like these other people, and not because they pledged
Special thank
everlasting,
you for looking at
eternal
right
loyalty to me, but
Every
just
one
because they're
of you
good people.
took time out of your busy lives. You didn't need to be here. There's many things you could have been doing.
Yeah, Zero, I agree.
Chose.
100%. Best decision that she could have made.
You braved 108-degree heat. I can't even believe I'm saying that just to be here. I have to tell you, I understand because of the heat, they had to shut the door early and turn thousands of folks away. But don't worry, we're going to be back a lot.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's like such a good message.
All the things, you got babysitters, you had to do everything.
Five Nights at Freddy's ours.
yourselves for one simple,
right, LB? Feels good.
reason. You love this country.
Feels good, man. Feels good. And he's funny. Yeah, he's a coach. You know, LB. You know the coaches got jokes. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm so incredibly proud to be on this ticket, and I want to give a big shout out with the support of a special group tonight, Culinary Workers Union 226.
Exactly, DJ. Only laugh when other people are getting hurt. Like, that's it. That's all that's funny to them.
We're here for that love and the end of
Coaches,
this road.
not couches.
Remember, 87 days. Rarely in your life do you get an opportunity in 87 days to change the trajectory of not just today or tomorrow, but for generations around the world.
Damn right. Dude, and this next 87 days are going to be beautiful. Don't forget, guys, I think it's September 4th. Donald Trump is going to be sentenced September 4th. The football season, I'm pretty sure, starts September 6th. Dude, my Eagles are opening up in Brazil. That's going to be weird for me. I'm probably going to have to wake up at like 3 in the morning to watch the football game. But I will be up at 3 in the morning to watch that fucking football game, okay? Even on a work day, I might not make it to work that day. Gonna be honest with you guys. But over the next 87 days, you are going to see endless campaigns. You are going to see Donald Trump get sentenced for his 34 felonies. You are going to see the beginning of the football season, and I don't give a shit if you don't like football, you can fuck off. You are going to see Kamala Harris dog walk Donald Trump around a debate stage. The next 87 days are going to be fucking amazing. Nice, Zero. Nice, Zero. Fly, Eagles, fly,
and I
baby.
keep saying this. We can do anything for 87 days, and my mantra is we'll sleep when
Nice,
we're
DJ.
dead. We'll sleep when we're dead. Because when
I'm
you
a
wake
Californian.
up on that 88th day,
Every week's
you're
a really
gonna
good
get
week
to
for
say,
me.
welcome, Madam President Harris.
No, I don't think much will change, LB. I don't think much will change.
This is
I saw that,
is a
DJ.
Leader that wakes up every day to try and do things
American
for the
football,
American people.
Paul. American football.
She took on the predators, the fraudsters, the transnational gangs, stood up against the greed of corporate interests.
Thank you. Thank
stood
you.
with working people in organized labor and never failed to reach across the aisle if it meant improving people's lives.
And MAGA supporters will seriously sit there and be like, he said nothing that whole time. Like, I get it, guys. You guys want to hear the dude drop some kind of dumb fucking story about sharks and electric batteries. You're the lowest common fucking denominator. I get that shit. But this dude's up here talking about actually giving fucking people hope. He's talking about the woman that's running for president that is a prosecutor that has already accomplished more before she ever got in office than Donald Trump has in his entire fucking life. Like, he's talking about generational change. He's not up there just fucking complaining about people not giving him credit for his crowd size. Or talking about how people it's a witch hunt. It's all a witch hunt. I've never done anything wrong. I'm 72 years old. I've never had anybody come after me. Only like 4,000 times. That's it. If you had 4,000 cases against you and your business over the last 30 years, no one would fucking hire you. Jesus Christ.
I was taught a little something about that commitment, too. I was born in a small town in Nebraska where community was a way of life. There's some Nebraskans in the house. Yay, corners. You think I'm kidding? 400 people, 25 kids in my class, 12 were cousins. That's small town. But you know what? My parents and my community taught me generosity.
I watch English football too, Paul, but not as often. My kid's a soccer player. I don't want to offend anybody.
My dad was a chain-smoking Korean War-era veteran who 2 days after my 17th birthday took me down to sign up to join the National Guard.
Good job, Tim.
I was proud for the next 24 years to wear the uniform of this country. Thank you to every single one of you who wore that uniform. And I have to tell you, like my dad before me and millions of others, the GI Bill gave me a shot at a college education.
Dude, he was almost my age when he retired from the military.
Just like Tilly.
That's crazy.
My dad was a teacher. My older brother was a teacher. My sister was a teacher. My younger brother was a teacher.
All victimhood, dude. It's so annoying to watch.
And we married teachers. So the privilege of my lifetime was spending 2 decades teaching in public schools. And you might have heard.
Yeah, LB, the dumbest shit you could ever hear. 24 years in the military, and they're like, oh, stolen valor. Like I said, my grandpa would find those people and beat them to death with their own hands.
Don't ever close that yearbook. That's my pro tip. Look, my students and my players are the ones who encouraged me to run for office. They saw in me what I hope to instill in them. A commitment to a common
Yeah, I know that feeling, man.
And something so important.
That's good.
The belief, as each and every one of you came here as a single person can.
Yeah, they want to switchboat him, Liz. Same thing they did to John Kerry. Same thing they did to John Kerry. It's the same dude, too. Same campaign manager or whatever.
To run for office, but I think my life prepared me well. And when my neighbors asked if I'd run for office, I was pretty clueless. I did not know that the district I was running in had only had one Democrat since 1892 before me. But my community graced me with the opportunity to represent them in the United States Congress for 12 years.
No, I don't think it was Roger Stone, Manic. I'd have to look it up.
I had the privilege of serving as the ranking member on the VA committee, working with Republicans to pass the most extensive
I'd remember if it's Roger Stone's weird
since
ass.
The GI Bill.
Fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit looking ass.
I learned the art of compromising.
Yeah, it's happy, dark. Exactly, Jeff, and that's important. We need education.
To tackle the most pressing challenges we have in the great state of Minnesota. Now, each of you came here.
Exactly,
you came here because you
LB.
love the country. You came here because you know
Fucking
a fantastic
hypocrites.
leader is going to walk out those doors in a minute or two. The person that
Support a
you see
dude that has
bringing
had
everything
fucking
to us,
dodged the military for bone spurs, but shit on a dude that has 24 years of military experience. That makes no fucking sense at all.
Each of you talk about service. Donald Trump knows nothing about service. It's
Ours wife. That fucking makes me feel so good. And that's such a
pretty
good
hard
fucking
to provide
feeling, and
service
that's what
to
it's
others
fucking
when
about.
You're too busy looking out for only yourself.
Speaking of young black women, if you guys are on X, like for sure, like follow some of these parents and stuff of people like Simone Biles and I don't know how to say the other girl's name. I think it's Childs, but I'm gonna probably be wrong about that. Chiles. But a lot of these fucking MAGA morons have been like smearing. Like Simone Biles, you know, she just had that Netflix show where she's talking about mental health and everything, and I think it's just like it just shows the level of character that these people, or lack thereof, of character that these people possess. That they've been going on Simone Biles and talking shit to Simone Biles and talking shit to the other girl for them doing that thing during the medal ceremony where they bowed down to the Brazilian girl, which I thought was just like one of the fucking best moments of the Olympics, to be honest with you. And all these fucking shitty MAGA Republicans are going on there, and the other girl, who I don't want to murder her name over and over again, so I'm just going to call her the other girl. I just saw her mom post on X saying like all the racist fucking people that are calling her daughter, you know, names and shitting on her and calling her a fake patriot and all this stuff can pretty much go fuck themselves. And I posted on there that her daughter is an inspiration to people of all genders and people of all ages. And I think that that's like, you know, one of the greatest things you can do is be an Olympian. And it's one of the hardest things that you can do is be an Olympian. And then to perform at the level that she did, and then to come home to comments that are racist and sexist and complete bullshit is just like, we have to be loud too. This is something that I've been trying to teach everybody with this channel for the last 2 years, that the left needs to be loud, that the left needs to grow a pair of balls and stand up in support of people like Simone Biles, like the other girl, and say, we see you fucking racists. And you can go fuck yourself because this person has our support. And, you know, for the past 2 years, you know, I've been saying the left needs a spine. The left needs balls. The left needs to stand the fuck up and stop backing down from these bullies. And I'm glad to see that people are jumping on board with this in the last month or two since Kamala became the candidate. But you can't let off the gas. Like, you don't get time to coast. These are people that everybody should be defending on the left, and you should be using your voice, whether it's on social media or on a YouTube stream or, you know, when you're talking to people in public, but denouncing that kind of bullshit, because we don't need that shit, man. Those young women worked their fucking ass off and then just performed probably in the most stressful situation that they've ever, you know, performed in their whole life, something that none of these fucking moron couch fucking soldiers will ever in their life ever experience. And they performed at the highest level and won medals on the Olympic stage. And people, you know, I know that it doesn't seem like much. I know that, you know, like sometimes people are afraid that they might get pushback. My wife was just saying, like, the reason that I get engagement is because people don't get to see enough people like me that will just literally just shit on people and call them fucking idiots on X, except for on the right. We got to be better. We got to be louder. We got to stand up for the people that we believe in. We got to support them. And we got to show people that we're not going to take that shit anymore. That people on the right, like, they don't get to come into our spaces and bully people. Like, that's not fucking happening. It's never happened in my fucking space. But we need to make it a fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Again and again and again, Donald Trump
Shut the fuck up, Rich.
To weaken this country to strengthen his own hand.
Dude, JD Vance for his eyeliner, bitch.
And that's to say nothing of his record as president. He froze in the face of the global COVID pandemic, and our neighbors died because of it. by not addressing
Yeah, they
COVID,
mocked her because they can never be like her. Because they're a bunch of little incel bitches.
And I just want to set the record straight because facts do matter, and there's not an alternate set of facts.
I love this dude.
Here's one for you. Violent crime was up during the Trump presidency. And that's even not counting his crimes. Some of you,
now they're doing the
some
speeches.
of you gray hair or no hairs in here can actually remember a time when Republicans actually talked about
LB.
Not these guys. These are the guys that believe government should be free to invade your exam room with your doctor.
Exactly. Because they love generals. They love talking about them. They like thinking about them.
We respect our neighbors' rights.
Ask the MAGA dipshit in the chat right now. Can't stop thinking about him. Loves some balls. Thinks about him in his mouth all the time.
We don't have to agree with them or make the
It's okay, just come out as gay, dog.
But we know that this
we'll accept
nation
you.
things
Come on
work
over.
best when you mind your own damn business. When you mind your own damn business.
Exactly.
I don't need any help. I don't need any help from those guys telling me which books to read.
Fucking A.
I sure the heck don't need any lecture.
Yeah, a bunch
about
of people,
morality
Nancy,
from
that
those
have never
guys.
accomplished a goddamn thing in their whole fucking life, and they're sad and
the last thing they
insecure
can mind
and
their own
bitch
damn
made.
business is I don't need any help from them talking about my family. And this is where it gets personal, where they want to dictate things like IVF and reproductive care.
And it's fucking weird.
I know there's a lot of you out there. This is the most personal choice.
Yeah, I
we
saw
have.
that shit, Nancy.
When my wife and I decided to have children, we spent years going through fertility treatments. And I said, I remember we have somebody to
It's
help.
so weird to be against IVF of
Love
all
water?
things.
All right. Thanks for helping your neighbors. But you're helping? You're good? All right, thank you. Sure. I remember those waiting for the phone calls. You'd go through the treatments. I would have my neighbor come over to have to give shots to my wife and things like that. And the phone would ring, and you would just hope so highly that it would be good news. And then when you found out the treatments didn't work, it was a darkness that could blot out the sun. So I have to tell you, it wasn't by chance when that phone call finally came, and we found out we were going to welcome our daughter into the world. We named her the most powerful word in the universe, hope. Hope. So when you hear
That
Kamala
they did,
Harris and I
Paul.
talk about freedom, we're very clear
That
about
they
this.
did.
We mean the freedom to make your own healthcare decisions.
Fuck yeah. Like, who could not be for that?
And that your children
They're so
should
weird.
be free to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in their classroom.
Fucking A. Let's go.
Look, again, I know Nevada's a lot like Minnesota. In Minnesota, we believe in the Second Amendment, but we also believe in common sense gun violence laws.
Now, we're not making fun of me, DB. We just want them to be who they are.
Vice President
It's not
Harris believes
homophobic.
education
I just want them to admit that they're gay
not
and just be
crippling
gay.
student loan debt.
Stop hating other gay people, dog. Why?
And we come
It's the
here
same
today
thing. It goes across
because in
races,
87
everybody.
days, we're going to settle our political differences not through violence. We're going to settle
Trump
it
is
by
human
beating them
vomit.
at the ballot box.
Diarrhea at that.
So look, I keep saying this. This is a pretty simple thing here. This election's about the choice, about what direction this country will go in. And I want to be clear. I know very clearly that I am preaching to the choir, but here's my words for you. The choir needs to sing. The choir needs
There you go,
to sing.
buddy. There you go, buddy. There you go, buddy.
So the other day I was saying this.
I love that
don't
shit.
believe Donald Trump when he plays dumb about 2025. But then I remembered, you don't believe him on anything because that's what you shouldn't believe.
Yep. Don't believe a goddamn thing.
I coached football for enough years. When
common sense gun laws may be a shot in the dark, but it's a shot, EDB. It's better than doing nothing, dog.
They'll restrict
and
our
that's
freedom.
what fucking
When
Republicans want to do. They want to do
the
nothing.
So that the middle
Fuck
class
that. I
gets
got kids
nothing
that...
and the rich get richer.
Exactly. I got a kid, EDB, that was in a Discord group where another kid talked about coming to school and shooting up their school. Do you know as a parent what that feels like? Do you know what it's like to find out that this kid that was in this group talking to your child said that they were potentially going to come to the school and take care of people? Do you know what that does to you? Do you know the type of fear you live with, that kind of shit? And when the police officer engaged with this young man, he just came back with, it's all taken care of now. Don't worry about it. Nothing's going to happen. The kid was just joking. Do you know what that's like? It makes you feel weak. It makes you feel like for the first time in your life, you can't do something about something. You can't protect the people that you love. So you can say that common sense gun laws are a shot in the dark, but at least you're taking a shot. Because Republicans that don't want to do anything about that shit are fucking terrible people. This idea that the government's going to come and take all your guns is fucking stupid. No one's doing that shit. I know tons of liberals with guns. Just the logistics of taking everybody's guns is fucking stupid. This is only hurtful to children. That's it. If you are a person that wants to own a gun, then you should be responsible. You should be accountable. If you can't pass a background check, then you don't get a fucking gun. Fuck your Second Amendment. I don't care. My children's lives are worth more than what you consider your rights. Fuck you. Fuck your, it shall not be infringed bullshit. My children will always come before your right to gun ownership. 100%.
If this guy gets an opportunity again...
I don't want people armed at my fucking school either. Jesus Christ, we've seen how bad these people are.
He'll gut
They're not universal.
Pull your health care, underfund public schools, all of it. That's damn right. Damn right. We're not.
You can still go to fucking gun shows and buy guns.
Look, this guy's not fighting for you or your family. He doesn't give a damn. And
he doesn't give a damn about nobody but him.
Backward agenda. I said this. All of my friends, we went to Yale, had billionaires fund our career, and then we write a book trashing our neighbors that raise.
What do you mean that's not actually true? I know people that have gone to gun shows and bought guns, EDB.
And I said,
Jesus Christ.
I didn't call anybody names. I spent enough years in that.
Fuck you mean it's not true?
I just made
Dog, do you believe everything you read?
They seem to be
Holy
really
fuck.
Concerned about. I pointed out that taking away reproduction.
I know people that have.
Raising the price of inland.
I care. There's people in your state. I live in California.
For that weird crap.
Holy fuck. Stop believing all the shit you read because it agrees with your bias.
Here's
Jesus
the good news.
Christ.
We do the work. This is about the...
EDB, do you understand that Kamala Harris literally stopped fucking gun shows at the Cow Palace because there were people that were driving through poor neighborhoods before they went to the gun show and selling guns illegally in the ghetto? Do you think people are just like, it's all good. I'm not going to do it because there's a law against it. Jesus Christ, come on, man.
Future. We do the work. None of that's going to happen. Vice President Harris believes in those freedoms.
Come on,
she
man.
Knows that every single person should get a chance at the middle class. She believes in something so beautiful, the promise of America.
The point is, EDB, you make it harder. Doing nothing is fucking stupid.
Madam
Yeah,
Vice President, I want
more
to say
laws
thank
might
you
not
for
stop
putting
it,
trust in
but
me
at least
to
you're
be your
doing
running
something,
mate.
dog.
And I want to say,
And it doesn't hurt your ability to get guns unless you're a dipshit. So why would you not do
she
it?
has done so much.
Give me one
And
reason
with
why it's
you
a bad
together,
idea.
It's reminded us about something.
Adam, I don't give a fuck where you've been. I know people that have bought guns at gun shows.
It can be about smiling. It's tough work, but we can be happy doing it.
I don't give a fuck what your personal experience was. Mine was they bought them.
And Kamala Harris has done something that we.
My anecdotal evidence is just as strong
She
as
has
yours.
brought out the joy in our politics. Nevada, join me in welcoming the next president of the United States.
Let's go.
Kamala Harris.
Let's go.
Telling these tears going fall away, fall away. Oh.
Okay, no music. Stop playing music. They're trying to get me a copyright strike. Why are they doing this to me?
His life, governor, congressman, dad.
How'd you go, tired?
Coach. But in 87 days, our nation is going to know Coach Walz as Vice President of the United
Good
States
shit.
of America. That's
The
right.
positivity, the happiness. It's like just like so much fucking different.
And it is so good to be here with so many incredible leaders, including
Seeing people
my dear
smile
friends,
and laugh and actually,
Senator
like,
Catherine
the right
Cortez
literally
Masto,
thinks, MAGA Republicans literally think it's an own to say somebody
Senator
laughs.
Jackie Rosen.
That tells you everything you need to know about those
We
people.
will re-elect to the United States Senate. Congress members Dina Titus, Stephen Horsford, and Susie Lee. And I know Culinary 226 is in the house.
Jesus, sick. That's what I'm fucking talking about. People act like because they ain't never experienced it, shit don't happen. It's fucking insane.
And the Culinary Union, as everyone in Nevada knows, they have helped lead the way in our
Good
country
shit.
for workers' rights and workers' dignity.
She's very much like Obama. Yeah. The way that she brings the energy is very much like
And I
Obama.
have to say, for years, I've been so proud to work by your side. When I was Attorney General of California, we worked together to crack down on wage theft. When I was a United States Senator, we fought together for paid family leave and medical leave. And earlier this year, right here in Vegas, we celebrated your historic...
The fact that you have to say the words, we fought for paid family leave and paid medical leave. That's like the insanity to me. That's the kind of shit. We can argue about gun fucking rights and all that shit all day long. I don't give a shit about that. I mean, I'm just going to tell you you're wrong. If my kids ever get murdered by fucking somebody with a gun, everybody's going to be in fucking trouble. But, like, people being against paid family leave is a weird fucking thing. It's weird. It's fucking crazy to listen to people talk about voting against their own rights. Like, you the one that's losing the paid family leave, you fucking dipshit. You think rich people have to worry about whether or not they get enough paid family leave, dog? God damn. It's so insane to hear somebody talk about having to fight for paid family leave. Fuck. It's so crazy. Yeah, Europe laughs at us every day.
And it is my promise to everyone here when I am president.
Yeah, she's
we will
pulling in some good
continue
crowds,
our
Adam.
fight for working
Like I said before, I've said this a million times. I don't think rallies matter. I think people matter, but good for her. They're very positive.
Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
EDB, we 100% agree there, my friend. We don't agree on guns, but we agree on that.
And Nevada today, I also bring greetings from our incredible President Joe Biden.
I don't think a third side would be perfect either is the problem. Ranked choice voting, EDB. Ranked choice voting. and I will make a promise right here, right now, that if Kamala Harris wins the presidency, I will not change my tune on ranked choice voting. I won't change my tune on anything, but I will always stand for the middle class. I will always say that companies should take better care of their employees. I don't give a fuck if they're Democrats. I don't care if they're right wing. It doesn't matter to me what political party you're part of. And I will always say, unless somebody can show me a better system, if somebody's capable of showing me a better system than ranked choice voting, I would change my mind. But currently, I do not think the system is good the way that it works. I do think that ranked choice voting should be instituted, and I do think that ranked choice voting shouldn't just be instituted on a political level as far as like candidates, but also on legislation. I think that we should be given choices as to like, you know, what we're voting for and what we do want or not included. Like things like the border, for you right-wingers out there, things like the border bills. Like if you don't like that Ukrainian funding has been added into it, you should be able to vote to say, now we don't vote for these things, but I'm just saying you should be able to vote for a border bill that says you want border, but you don't want these add-ons to it. Or maybe you like the add-ons and you say, yeah, I'll take those add-ons. But I think that ranked choice voting could be instituted in a multitude of areas. And that will not change no matter who is the president in 2025.
That's great. And I know, I'm going to tell them what y'all just said.
Yeah, exactly, Adam. Third party just doesn't help.
Grateful to Joe Biden for his lifetime of service to our nation.
I think we should all get a vote on a lot of these things.
And he's not done. So as I said, it's so good to be back in Las Vegas. The last time I was here, I stopped by the practice for the men's national basketball team before they headed out to the Olympics.
Nice.
And maybe you saw it on your phone, but just a few hours ago in Paris, they won the gold.
Nice. I did not know that because I've been working all day. I didn't get to watch it. Thanks for the spoiler alert. There you go. This is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying.
And I got more for you. A few hours before that, our women's national soccer team won the gold.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. A return to dominance. And right now, America, I think, has like 111, maybe a little bit more now because I haven't been able to look today. Medals total. We're tied with China in golds. Like, this is what I'm saying. I just want America to get back to the place. Like, everybody keeps talking about, like, make America great again. You know what? When America was great, it wasn't that long ago. It was like fucking 10 years ago. It was like when we had like patriotism when it came to the Olympics. Like I told you guys before, I become a little countryist when I say some of the most mean shit that I'll ever say outside of watching a football game about other people. Okay, like when we watching a country, like we watching China play America in like a basketball game. I'm like, China don't know shit about no fucking basketball. About to get your ass whooped. That's what's gonna happen right now. Fuck them up. Fuck those Chinese. Oh shit. Like I go there, all right? I go there. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like I become countryist, not exactly racist. Just like I hate your country. Sometimes I'm mean to people in Norway. I'm like, fucking Norway taking all the fucking gun medals. What the fuck, you know? Like that's all I want, man. Like I grew up as a kid watching like every Olympic fucking sports I never heard of in my life, and just being proud. And seeing these athletes that they weren't fucking, now mind you in basketball it's different, but most of the athletes you see are like people who have like grinded and worked and really like they're going to school and they have jobs and they've done so much, and then they get to go to represent their country. And it just feels like MAGA Republicans can't be happy about any of those things, because if they act like they're happy, then they have to say things are okay. You know, like, we got to get away from that shit, man. It shouldn't matter who's in office as to whether or not you're going to be patriotic or not about, like, these people that have nothing to do with who the president is. Like, last go around with the women's team, and it was Megan Rapinoe or whatever, and, like, all these people were triggered by her being, you know, a feminist and her being lesbian, and it's like, fuck, I don't care, man. She's representing America, and she's worked her fucking ass off. I'm not going to root for the other country to win because fucking I dislike her politics. Like, I'm sure there's some Trump supporters running track right now, and I'm still like, fucking, you gotta beat those Jamaicans. They're fucking fast. All right? And fucking Usain Bolt has fucking traumatized me for the rest of my life. Every time I see a Jamaican, I'm like, that motherfucker probably runs like 900 miles an hour. No chance we're ever winning this gold. But you know what I'm saying? Like, MAGA Republicans have ruined so much shit. Where you shop. What you're allowed to cheer for. What sporting events you're allowed to go to. What food you can eat. Like, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I was on you guys' side when you guys were mad about certain cancel culture events. I was like, stop that shit. I laughed at that joke. I'm not going to feel bad about it. And now you guys became what you hate. Gotta stop that shit and come back to reality. Fucking, it's okay to cheer for America. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be positive. You don't have to be such fucking Debbie Downers all the time. Carrie Richards. That's what I'm talking about, Spitfire. What up, Spitfire?
USA, USA.
I have no proof, comical. No proof.
So in one sport after another, Team USA continues to make our nation proud.
What do you think about NASCAR? I'm not into watching cars drive around in circles, but like my uncle likes that shit. So
Nevada,
if you like it, it's dope.
We have 87 days until the election.
I've never been able to get in. I'm sure if I went to one, it'd probably be cool because I like everything live. You know what made me so mad? And look, this is one of those instances in which you could hang on to anger and hate and allow it to like be a part of your life later on. Is that shit that happened to Sha'Carri Richardson like just like pissed me off so fucking much, dude. Like, look, I don't smoke anymore, and I did for a long time. I did smoke in my youth, and you know, up until probably like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I still smoke, but like things like alcohol being legal, marijuana should be legal. You know, mushrooms should be legal. Everything should have regulation and should have age limits and stuff like that. But if a person wants to do that shit, they should be allowed to do that shit. And seeing Sha'Carri Richardson get fucking stopped from like achieving her dream of going to the Olympics because she smoked some pot was fucking like out of control. And it really like greatly upset me. And she had the best fucking attitude about that and has like continued to be like such a positive role model for a person who got like fucked over and then went on to continue to do great things. And she's like a role model for like everybody that's ever been in that situation. And I know it kind of fucking sucks because like I grew up during a time where that shit was like stigmatized and, you know, like people like are being fucking persecuted and prosecuted for it. And now what you see is people like being more open to it. And I could be angry about that shit and carry it in and be like, oh, like all this stuff makes me so mad that this happened to these people and I'm never going to let it go. But it's all right, man. We're healing. Other people, specifically right-wing fucking Republicans, and I'm not just talking about the MAGA Republicans this time. I'm talking about all you Republicans. Y'all, every one of you fucking wanted to see people going to prison for fucking weed, dude. And it was like, now you're on our side. And I could be mad at you, and I could be like, fucking, you guys were part of the bad guys that wanted to see these people prosecuted, but I don't. Instead, I'm like, welcome to the fucking dark side, dog. Welcome on over. Here's a joint. Have a good time. I don't even smoke anymore. Fucking enjoy. If that's what you love, that's what you love. You know, like, that's what I'm saying is you don't gotta hang on to the anger. You ain't gotta hang on to the hate. You can move the fuck on and still be positive and happy and spread that around you.
But here's the thing.
She was dope.
We know this will be a
she was
tight
dope.
race until the very end.
So happy to watch her run, dude. So happy.
So let's not pay too much attention to the polls.
Golf is better on TV.
We have some hard work ahead of us. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work.
Oh, I've done some mushrooms, my friend.
We will win.
I know what you're talking about, dog. What's up, Happy Daddy? This is dope as fuck, dude.
And I know we are
not Trump. Maybe conservatives moving forward, but not Trump. Trump will never build a platform with any kind of foundation. He doesn't know how to do things different.
As many of you know, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected a United States senator, I was an elected attorney general, and before that, district attorney. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, scammers who broke the rules.
And that's one of the things that I think I need to point out more often about Kamala's record, is that she did sue some huge companies while she was in the state of California, and she won those, and she got people money back. Like, once again, like I said, a lot of the vitriol and the shit that people spew both on the left and the right about Kamala, I've debunked 99% of it. There's things that like the payments the payment from Mnuchin that I don't agree with and seems kind of sus and I think should be looked into. But I think one of the things that people tend to forget when you hear the word prosecutor is that she is also a person that went out of her way to hold big companies and corporations accountable for what they did to everyday average Californians. And that was pretty dope. Like, I'm so happy that I started doing this, and I'm so happy that people like MAGA Immune Mama that was here earlier kind of convinced me to stick with it and keep doing it, even though I wasn't trying to be like serious or anything like that. Because the more I look into people, the more I understand like how this game is played and the way that people will like tend to regurgitate things that they hear on the news without ever looking into it. And in looking into Kamala, like I became more interested in her career as an attorney general for the state and as a district attorney. And the more that I found out about her, the better I thought about her. And that's not something that I thought would happen. I thought the further I looked into her history, the more disenchanted I would become with her, and that just wasn't true. She's actually had a very good history as a prosecutor, and she's actually done a lot of things for average, everyday Americans, or Californians, for the most part. So that was actually really dope. I think that's something that should be focused on more.
Personal gain.
Night, Jeannie!
So, Nevada, hear me when I say, I know
average
Donald
Californians
Trump's
are real
type.
people. Comical. Later, Paul. Thanks, Paul. It's insane that they bash her for being a prosecutor, Adam. You would think that's what they want. It's crazy.
Hold on. The court's going to take care of that. We just going to beat him in November. We'll beat him in November. We'll beat him in November.
Everybody's going to give her a chance to do that everywhere she goes.
Like in my entire career.
Now that it's happened once, everybody's going to do that. That's so funny.
I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that scams students.
Corinthian colleges, $1.1 billion.
Well, Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students.
And that's the truth.
Remember that.
And Adam, I think that
I specialized in cases of sexual.
Adam, that's the thing too about that is that that's the Trump influence, right? Is that Trump is just symbolism. He's not substance. Like the conservatives I knew up until, and I would even say during a portion of Trump's term, probably it's 6 years ago, I would say conservatives still kind of rode that line of what I was talking about earlier when it comes to like marijuana and stuff like that, that like, you know, that's just like a lot of stuff just isn't okay. It's detrimental to society. Prosecutors are good, you know, like, and the Trump effect on the conservative party has really changed the way that they think within their own party. And I don't even know if many of these people even realize it. I don't know if you're on X, Adam, but there's a couple dudes on there. I could probably get their names for you. I think one's named like Paul Heinlein or something like Heinlein or something like that. But they're actual, like real actual conservatives. And I follow them on X and I actually comment on some of the things that they say because they still speak like conservatives. They're like, you know, like, hey, I'm concerned about taxation. I'm concerned about, you know, whether or not crime is at these levels, you know, and like real actual talking points. But I genuinely believe that unless conservatives, I was talking about the left growing balls earlier. Well, I'm going to talk about the right growing balls now. And that is The right needs to grow a pair of balls and look at the people that are infesting their party with the cult bullshit, and they need to get them the fuck out, man. They need to look at all these crazy fucking people, and I get it. You want to win, you know? Like, I understand why people, like, take that attitude of, like, but he's our nominee, so we have to win. Like, I can't take that attitude. I don't like that. I would never want to vote for somebody, period, that doesn't have my interests in mind. But I do see why other people think that way, because, you know, they're not going to get as far into all the information as possibly I'm going to get into it. But they really do need to grow a pair of balls and look at the MAGA Republicans in their party and go, get the fuck out of here. Like, go start your own independent bullshit. Like, that's you. Go over there in your cult and stand the fuck over there. You could even say, as a Republican, that you might share some of their values, but you 100% don't share their more extreme values if you're just a Barry Goldwater conservative. And I really do feel like for America to move forward from where we're at today, that Republicans need to grow a pair of balls and say to the people in their party that they don't represent you and they can go fuck off. Adam Schiff or Glenn Kirchner for Attorney General? I don't know. I think people were saying Jack Smith would be amazing. Kirshner's pretty cool. I don't know enough about those guys, to be honest with you. I do like I like the content they produce, but I would never say that I would endorse somebody for Attorney General without first looking into like their record, who they are. If I did, it would be like, you know, off the cuff. I would prefer to look further into those people. Adam Schiff I know a little bit about because he's here in California. Mind you, I'll fucking straight up tell you guys, I voted for Katie Porter over Adam Schiff. I am a huge antitrust person. I am big on corporations being fucking handled. And Katie Porter has done more in that area than anybody in Congress, in my opinion, period. And I'll fight you on that one. I'm sure that people could actually provide evidence to the contrary. But Katie Porter, in my opinion, is super fucking dope. I love Katie Porter. I voted for her over Adam Schiff, even though I love Adam Schiff as well. But I would have to look further into like what he's done, you know, as far as being Attorney General before I would say that I would want him to be the Attorney General. Like I said, the funniest one I've seen so far is people saying make Jack Smith Attorney General. I was like, oh shit.
Well, Donald Trump
thanks, Chicago.
is liable for committing sexual abuse.
Yeah, and exactly, Chicago. They don't want to lose them because they lose votes, but you gotta can't cut the arm off to get rid of the cancer, man. You know, like you gotta cut that portion off, or the cancer keeps growing and it just gets worse. You want to know something crazy, Chicago? Is people, and I don't know if this is just like hyperbolic or if these people actually believe this, because they believe she's a communist, which is fucking dumb, but if you want to say that she's left, that's appropriate. If you want to say that she's progressive, I actually have learned that she's more progressive than I thought she was. But people are on the right are saying she's left of Bernie. And I don't think that that's true. I would need to see evidence to prove that before I would agree with that. I do not believe that there are many people that are harder left than Bernie. There are some people, but it's hard for me to think of a single person right now that I think is more progressive than Bernie. Maybe AOC. But yeah, it's weird to see people say that. You know, I was just making a video today. Got a video that comes out tomorrow, guys. Please watch it. 5 p.m. You guys will fucking love it. It's about the MAGA cult canceling Rogan, Tim Pool, Kyle Rittenhouse, Nick Fuentes posting videos saying that Trump's done. It's a video about that. So you guys should definitely watch that shit tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It's going to be funny and you guys will love this shit. But I was just watching, and one of the things that MAGA Republicans were canceling Tim Pool and Joe Rogan for was that they used to be Bernie supporters. And that is mind-numbingly weird to me that people that used to vote for what is considered one of the most selfless people in Congress, and they switched over to the most selfish person in politics. Like, that is so weird, and that's part of my book that I'm writing, right? Is that this vote out of spite mentality. In Chicago, I'm so fucking glad to hear you say that, because there's this vote out of spite mentality where people that were in the Bernie bro sphere got very upset about what happened, and rightfully so, with superdelegates, with Hillary Clinton, and how that shit all went down, and then got even madder that Bernie supported Hillary, stepped aside and did, you know, the thing that he thought was right and supported Hillary, and then they went to MAGA out of spite for Bernie and for Democrats. And that just like shows to me that like you don't really truly believe in those morals, in those policies. There's no fucking way that you can put Bernie and Trump in the same bubble. There's just no fucking way.
Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud, 34 counts.
No, she's not far left, Adam. She's more progressive than I thought. But that is like, to say she's far left is kind of insane.
I will proudly put my record against his every day of the week.
Yeah, I love Bernie. Bernie's one of my favorites.
That being said, let's make no mistake, this campaign is not just about us versus Donald Trump. It is about two different visions.
I actually don't agree with that, Comical. Because politics aren't played in that manner. Politics are much more subtle and nuanced than just going against a person. It's about also like having backroom conversations. It is like a lot of other shit. Oh yeah, Trump's definitely a criminal. That's verified, Robert. By the courts. Yeah, Trump called Joe Biden far left. That's what I'm saying is like, I don't get how people can like, no, I do get. I get why people do fall for that shit. People saying things like Joe Biden is far left. I get why they fall for it because people are just politically illiterate, right? Like they don't want to do the work that it takes to, and I have friends like this on the left and on the right that both do this. And they'll eat their own candidate even sometimes because of the things that they've heard. But it's really weird to say about a guy like Joe Biden, who in 2020, I told every single person he was going to win because he's milquetoast. Because Joe Biden is an establishment Democrat. That's the reason that he obviously supported Israel so hard, is because Joe Biden looks at government as a job. He's like, I'm supposed to do this for Israel. That's why when people hate on Joe Biden and Israel, I kind of say, you know, like I hear what you're saying about women and children being harmed, and I hear what you're saying about innocent people being harmed. I hear all of that shit, and I understand exactly where you're fucking coming from. But to be honest, he's just an establishment Democrat. He's not far left at all. Like, he's done some things, in my opinion, that were much more progressive than I ever thought he was going to do, for sure. But that doesn't make you far left. That is an insane thing to say about Joe Biden. And then they just switch it to Kamala. And that's insane. It's a lot of, like, if you said to me, and you guys are going to disagree with me on this, but I will disagree with my lefties on this. If you were to take Trump out of the race right now, and you were to replace Trump with Nikki Haley, and you were to say Nikki Haley is a fascist, I would disagree with you. I don't think that Nikki Haley is a fascist. Personally, I think that Nikki Haley would have probably, well, no, she wouldn't have won because conservatives won't vote for a woman, which is fucking insane. But I think that Nikki Haley was the best candidate for the Republican Party. That's my personal opinion. But I don't think that she's a fascist. So if you were to switch her out for Trump and you were to use the same talking points with Trump, who I do believe is a fascist, definitively so, anybody that attempts autocracy or dictatorship is a fascist, I would not be okay with that. But they do the same thing. They remove Joe Biden from the equation. They stick Kamala Harris. It doesn't matter if it's Gavin Newsom. It doesn't matter if it's police from Colorado. It doesn't matter if it was Walz. They've already called Walz a communist. Walz is rated as a slight left-leaning candidate based off of his legislation. This isn't based off of like people looking at him and saying, I think this or that about him. Based off of what he voted for while he was a congressman and when he was the governor. His legislation put him slightly left. Slightly left. That's not communism, and that's not far left. And that's what I don't get about this. Like, that's what drives me nuts about politics.
And we're not going back because, Nevada, we fight for the future.
Yeah, Nick. What up, Nick? Yeah, lots of reaching across the aisle.
Child care and paid
Easy to digest, AJ.
We fight for a future where we build a broad-based economy where every American has an opportunity to own a home, to start a business, and to build wealth.
Yeah, he's a populist, comical. Yeah, populist president. Yeah.
Where we lower the cost
Trump is
of living
sinking,
for
and he knows
America's families, so they have a chance not just to get by, but to get ahead. To get ahead.
There you go. See? Now.
Because look.
Now, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, if Kamala Harris gets into office and she don't take care of the middle class, I'm going to talk about that. That's going to, I want to warn everybody. I love Kamala so far. I think everything I've looked into her has been great. But if the middle class struggles, if the lower middle class continues to struggle, if we're not moving forward legislatively and getting things done, mind you, obviously Congress and Senate plays a part in the determination of these things. If Kamala is saddled with a completely conservative MAGA Republican Senate and Congress, I'm not big on executive actions. I do think that there are times and places for executive actions, but I'm not big on them. If she's not capable of doing those things, you will hear me start to criticize her on those things if she becomes the president of the United States, which seems quite possible right now that will happen. Like I said about this channel, I would like it to go football and hip-hop, but I know that most people don't follow me for football and hip-hop because I've never had a show about football and hip-hop. I know this show is a political show, and I will continue to engage in this because I have children and family, and I care about these things, and it's fun to get politically educated to these things. But this show will change to a show that monitors where we're at with those things, unless MAGA Republicans continue to be fucking insane, then we'll probably just keep laughing at that shit too. But I will monitor that. I am in the middle class. I believe America is strongest when it has a strong middle class and the ultra wealthy pay their share.
While our economy is doing well by many measures,
Tiki, that is hilarious.
Everyday things like groceries are still cheap. You know it and I know it.
There you go.
When I was Attorney General, I went after price-fixing schemes. And when I am president, I will continue that work to bring down prices. I will take on big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging. Corporate landlords
I want to see that shit.
Unfairly raise rents on working families.
I want to see that shit.
And take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans.
Chicago, if she don't say it, I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to be so sad if she doesn't go in on him on that shit.
Unlike Donald Trump, I will always, I promise you, put the middle class and working families first.
So that's what she's saying. I want to see that shit happen.
Because you see, Tim Walz and I
think that she will do it.
We have a whole lot in common, but we have so much in common. And I'll tell you what he and I know, the middle class.
Yep, best time in America, Adam, was when the middle class was the strongest. And then boomers just kept all that money.
The middle class is strong.
Their asses just held on to all that money.
And so while we
Yeah, no, I saw that ours wife.
work to move our nation
The man just
forward,
rambles.
Donald Trump has a
You know what me and the wife were talking about earlier was the debate, right? And we were talking about Joe Biden's debate performance, and we were talking about why Donald Trump looks so cognitive decline now, right? Why he looks so poor cognitively. Now, most of us that have been watching Donald Trump have seen issues with Trump for quite a while. But the reason I think, or at least my wife was saying that she thought, and I agree with her, that Donald Trump looks so much worse now is because he really played off of using Joe Biden as as a bit of a distraction, right? And I even said during that debate, Joe Biden didn't do poorly as far as like his talking points. I mean, I think that he shouldn't have tried to quote statistics. I don't think that he should have stood up there trying to talk about his wins and how well he's done. I actually think he should have just said all the things that I think Kamala should say as well. And that is, you're a felon. You're a convicted sexual abuser. You tried to commit treason. Dude, I would have never stopped talking about the fact that he tried to overturn the election that I was elected in, okay? I would have never stopped talking about it. Every fucking answer would have included Andrew Trader. But for the most part, other than him being sick, him stuttering, him having some real, like, you know, issues with an ability to stay on track, his talking points weren't bad talking points. And if it was anybody else on that stage with Donald Trump that night, if it was Gavin Newsom, if it was Tim Walz, if it was Kamala Harris, if it was, police, if it was anybody else, if it was Roy Cooper, if it was Shapiro, if it was Mark Kelly, anybody else on that stage, Bernie Sanders, you would have looked at Donald Trump and you would have been like, damn, he is fucking insane. I mean, I did anyways. You guys can watch the video. It's still there. He is insane, and he never said anything that was productive. But he has been living off of Joe Biden and the comparison between the two because he's slightly better cognitively. Slightly. That's still up for debate, to be fucking honest with you. And I think that that's just like, it's insane to know that when we really look at him by himself, like just talking at that Mar-a-Lago thing and talking about how she has a man and he has ideas and positions, transpositions. I can't believe that anybody would vote for him. It's fucking mind-boggling.
Different plan. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda.
Trump right now stepping down would be the best thing for America.
Which I keep saying, I can't believe they put that in writing.
DJ, 100%. He had the sense to just not say shit.
So if he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give tax...
And we never stop talking about January 6th. It's fucking treason.
He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. And he
Chicago, it was fucking 100% the best fucking thing for him to do, and I didn't want him to.
And I don't need to tell Nevada every day because you feel the impact of extreme heat and drought.
Nice right-wing talking point, Ricky.
You know the climate crisis.
Ain't nobody in this chat falling for that bullshit.
But Donald Trump...
Good try, dog.
Well, he claims it's a hoax.
What up, Renee? What's up, Mr. House? Yeah, his ego would never let him. 100%. 100%.
In November, he won't. But if he were to win in November... he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. Think about that. To take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny...
Jay, I don't know why you hate Kamala, but I guarantee I can debunk whatever you believe is true about her. 100%.
Children with asthma, breast cancer survivors, grandparents with diabetes.
Actually, he in every single one of his budget bills, he actually wanted to cut Social Security, Adam. Every one of his budgets during his time as president, he introduced had cuts for Social Security in it. I don't know what she just said, but America as far as Social Security goes, I know that.
Policies before, and we are not going back.
Yeah, I like the promise. It's a good promise.
We are not
and she just got to follow through. Follow through.
We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. And we are going to
What's up, Lady Freedom?
We will
appreciate you being here.
And in moving forward, we will take on the biggest...
That's not a reason to not vote, Jay. And she didn't vote.
For example, we will address...
That's why you don't want to vote for her, because you preferred Bernie? Don't be that Bernie bro, dude. I voted for Bernie, too. Don't be that Bernie bro that hates Democratic candidates because you're spiteful about it. I wish Bernie would have won too, but I'm not gonna fucking shoot myself in the foot, cut my nose off to spite my face. Like, give me a real reason why she wouldn't be a good president, and I'll debunk that shit.
We know our immigration system is broken, and we know what it takes to fix it.
Well, positive chance are always going to be better than negative chance. Reverend, yes, right?
Strong border security,
right?
And an earned pathway to citizenship.
Trump doesn't know how to be anything but mean, angry, and pissed.
But Donald Trump don't want to fix this problem.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with that, Adam. I'm interested to see what happens with that.
But he talks a big game about border security, but he does not walk the walk. Earlier this year,
you know what? That's a good point. A lot of people could just be coming in saying that. It's just like the I used to be a Democrat or I used to be a Republican, whatever talking points. Could be the same thing. You went to a rally, Renee? Nice job, Renee.
Because he thought it would help him win an election.
Nice right-wing talking point, Ricky.
I will sign that bill into law.
Biden's deportation numbers are going to equal or exceed Donald Trump's at this pace, currently at this pace.
Nevada,
so even if she was, which she wasn't, there's no such thing as a border czar.
It is a fight for freedom.
That's like me saying, you're in charge of the economy, and someone being like, she was the economy czar. That's not how it works.
We have been witnessing a full-on assault on hard-won.
There you go, Comical. Comical's got a solid reason.
The freedom to vote.
Hates that fashion sense. Come on, Ricky. Comical's doing better than you.
The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride.
What up, Joseph? Leaders do a lot of things, Ricky.
And the freedom
sometimes they pass legislation, sometimes they put other people in charge.
A fight for freedom. And on that last point,
hey, Ricky, who do you think deported more people, Obama or Trump?
When he was president, Donald Trump.
I gotta ask you, who do you think deported more people? Who do you think? What president do you think deported the most people?
Because he intended for them.
Damn it, Adam! You're not supposed to tell him.
And as he intended,
and more importantly, he had more removals from the inside of the United States. People don't understand the difference between deportations, expulsions, and removals.
With no exceptions, even for rape and incest.
It's partially Trump's fault. It's partially Biden's fault too. It's called stimulus. Do you know how stimulus works, Ricky?
He would sign a
it's
national
both those presidents' faults. But it's Joe Biden's job to wrangle inflation, and he did that.
Even Nevada. But we are not going to let that happen.
She tricked me.
Because we trust women.
Here, I'm going to find something because I want you guys to look at this shit. I know you guys aren't going to, but I'm going to link it to you anyways.
And when I am President of the United States and Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedoms, I will sign it into law. So I know the folks who are here. I know the people of Nevada. You are battle-born.
Dude, it's so many messages back.
And if Donald Trump wants to pick a fight over our most fundamental freedoms, we say,
go get him, she said. She said, go get him.
Bring it on.
God, I get so many messages from conspiracy theorists. Jesus Christ. There it is.
So Nevada, generations.
Okay, from my conservative people in chat, Here you go. I want you. I know you're not going to.
Now,
but I want you to take a look at this. That is Lankford's bill for the border that Donald Trump had canceled out of his own hubris. I want you to take one look at that bill, and then I want you to tell me that that's some kind of Democratic bullshit. That is one of the most conservative bills I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And if you are a conservative, you should have wanted that bill to be passed. Democrats, you can take a look at it as well.
So much is on the line.
We say USA, USA, USA all the time, Ricky. You don't even watch the Olympics, dog. You don't support the athletes. You don't support America, Ricky. I get it. MAGA Republicans can't be happy. You guys can't be happy because if you're happy, then you have to admit that things are okay. Ricky, read Senator Lankford's document. He's a conservative.
Last month,
go read that shit, and then tell me why that should have been canceled. Tell me why that was bad.
The former president that going forward, he will effectively be immune.
Ricky, if you can't read, have like your nephew or something read it for you, okay?
But think about what that means. Think about what that means.
Look at you. You're such a right-winger. You're like, hold on, I have my talking point. I have my talking point.
On day one if reelected.
I bet you hate Simone Biles too, huh, Ricky?
He said he will weaponize essentially the Department of Justice against his political enemies.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Ransom. That's exactly what people say, though. Because they just want, they want to be, being politically illiterate is much easier than actually like reading the bills and stuff like that. Ricky, Baldy.
Let us be very
Ricky ain't gonna read that bill.
Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution.
I'm gonna paste this one more time for you guys in case anybody is interested. That is the bill. That is Senator Lankford's bill that he introduced that got canceled. That's what I'm saying, Adam. It's crazy to see people that claim to be the biggest patriots say they do not support the American Olympic team. It's in the chat. Ricky, do you know how to look at it? Look, buddy. I'm gonna do it one more time for you, okay, Ricky? Oh wait, here I'll do it, and I'll even.
We know what we stand for as Americans, and it all comes down to this: we are here together because we love our country.
There you go, Ricky.
We love
our
country.
That time I sent it directly to you.
And I do believe it is the highest form.
Tell me that's not the strongest border bill that you've ever seen in your life, and that's what Donald Trump had canceled. It's insane.
That is how we preserve the promise of America. And think about it. After all, the promise of America is what makes it possible for Tim Walz and me to be together on this stage.
I could probably find you a summary too if you need it. But summaries don't do it justice. And can sometimes be a little bit bullshit. I'd rather read the whole bill.
Think about it. 2 middle-class kids, one a daughter of Oakland, California, who was raised by a working mother. I had a summer job at McDonald's. The other, a son of the Nebraska plains who grew up working on a farm. Think about it. Think about it. Only in America is it possible that the two of them would be running together all the way to the White House. Only in America. Only in America. So look.
Now, I don't like reading summaries and stuff like that, but if you want a summary, that's a summary. There's a couple different types of summaries there. A more intuitive summary. More detailed summary and a less detailed summary.
From red states to blue states, from the heartland
Joe Biden
to the
was
coast.
willing to sign that.
And when elected, we will govern on behalf of all Americans.
Yeah, because laughing is bad, DJ. They don't like laughing. It's so weird.
So Nevada.
Lady, that would be the MAGA Republicans that don't like supporting our Olympic team for some fucking reason, which is insane to me. It's like not even something that's political. You should just be proud of American athletes.
A country of chaos, fear, and hate.
There you go. Think she stole that from me.
A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law.
There you go.
And the beauty of our democracy. Here's the thing, the beauty of our democracy.
No, she was at 7 years old. Her parents divorced, Adam.
The power.
Her father was she was born in Oakland, spent time in Oakland, moved to the Midwest. In the Midwest, her father and her mother divorced. She moved to Canada when she was 12, finished high school and college in Canada, and then moved to the United States, back to the United States of America to go to Howard University, and then she finished her law degree in San Francisco, I think. Yeah.
To knock on doors.
But no, her parents divorced at 7.
Folks to vote and make your voices heard. So Nevada, today I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard?
She's a breath of fresh air, man. She really is.
Do we believe in freedom?
That's a good question, Comical.
Do we believe in opportunity?
And the real question is, if they're winning, Comical, does it matter?
Of America. And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless
That's
the
dope.
United States of America.
Yeah! It's all good feels, man. It's all good feels. That's what it should be. Like, I don't care what side you're on, like, whether you're Republican or you're a Democrat or you're a progressive or you're a libertarian or you're an independent. One of the things that drives me the most nuts about doomers, and there's a lot of doomers in the MAGA Republican side, but there's doomers everywhere. There's doomers in the middle that are voting for RFK. There's doomers in the MAGA Republicans. There's doomers on the left. I hate the doomers because nothing can ever be positive. Nothing can ever be happy. Everything is pessimism. Everything is negativity. And the reality is what kind of fucking life is that? Like, why would you get one shot at this shit and that's how you want to live life? You want to just like live your whole life just like everything is like hate, anger, vitriol, negativity. Like, that's not a good, you got one shot, man. You got one shot. So it's like, and I firmly believe this. Like, look, Ron DeSantis has some awkward moments. The man is not 100% capable of smiling regularly. Okay. that is up there with the big guy. Ron DeSantis' smile or inability to smile was up there with the BI guy, okay? That, like, ruined his chances at being a president for probably the rest of the time. But when you look at them, like, giving speeches and stuff like that, they generally still have, like, a very positive, like, atmosphere. It's still, like, people are cheering and stuff. People are still, like, Donald Trump's fucking, his rallies are depressing. They're weird. They're negative. They're fearful. It's like the strangest fucking thing to know that, like, even politicians that you don't agree with can still have positive rallies, but Donald Trump can't. I don't like hair, Comical. I don't want hair. So, I mean, if that's true, then I'm not eating any fucking sugar. Like, this is too much hair for me right here. This is too much hair for me. Way too much. She was raised by a single mother, Adam. I already addressed that. She was, her parents were divorced when she was 7. She was raised by a single mother, just like I was raised by a single mother because my dad left when I was 5 or so. Ricky, don't eat any sugar. You don't want hair either. Hair's the enemy. Hair is so much work. Look, I'm not going to hate on JD Vance for wearing eyeliner. Do what you want to do, dog. But it's just too much work for me. Even if makeup made me pretty, I ain't got that kind of time, guys. I'm not trying to fucking put on makeup and stuff. I tell my wife, I'm like, she don't need to wear makeup because she's beautiful the way she is, all right? Also, because I don't have that kind of time. Right? I don't have that kind of time. I can't be fucking combing my hair and shit. That shit's annoying. I hate going to get fucking haircuts. I like just bicking this. I like just like taking the bic to it, just being done with it. It takes me like 5 minutes, all right? That's it. Yeah, and even being a fucking dipshit that wears lifts in his shoes, he still has better, happier rallies than Donald Trump even. That fucking says a lot. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the people that push back. Always appreciate you. Adam, always good to have you in the chat, so that way I have somebody that disagrees with the stuff I'm saying. I do think you're wrong about her being raised by a single mother, because as a child that experienced the same thing that she did, I was raised by a single mother. My father was not in my life. You could say that like I went and visited him like after I was like 12 or 13 years old a couple times, and wow, then I wasn't raised by a single mother. That doesn't make any sense. My father was a drug addict, an alcoholic, a domestic violencer. Like there's, yeah, he wasn't in my life. I was raised by my mom, and she doesn't have a similar background, but she was raised by her mom because they divorced when they were 7. So anyways, and her mom's fucking dope, just so you guys know. Worked on breast cancer research, really, really intelligent lady. And just so you guys know too, one of the things with Trump claiming that she isn't black is that if you actually read in her biographies, she talks about how her mother knew that most people would see her as being African American and instilled in her the need to know a lot about the African American culture. Like that's what makes all of this crazy. You know that she was the president of black students in her law school. She was president of not president. She was in an all black sorority. Like she went to an all black college. Like it was such a weird fucking idea for Donald Trump to attack her on her blackness. Like, somebody keeps saying, I think it's Tim Pool keeps saying that Donald Trump needs better advisors. No, Donald Trump doesn't have advisors. That is the problem. Donald Trump only cares about one person's opinion, and that is Donald Trump's opinion. That's why Donald Trump says dumb shit. Because Donald Trump does not take the advice of the people that are around him. Except for apparently when it comes to overturning elections, and then apparently it's all their advice and totally not him. Crazy enough, right? I'm not voting for Kamala because she's black. I'm voting for Kamala because she's fucking dope. Like I said, I want to see some fucking big-ass corporations getting fucking sued. That's what I want to see. I want to see these corporations getting their asses handed up to them for taking advantage of the middle class. That's what I'm voting for. Can't fucking wait for it. It would take too much makeup to make me look good. I know, dog. I know. I am consigned to my fate, Mike. All right? All right, guys. You know the spiel. You can always support me with super chats. I don't make any fucking money, but I do appreciate when you guys super chat me and give me a little bit of dollars. Like a busker on the street, I do like donations. You can do that with super chats. You can join the Angry Ginger Army. We even let people like Ricky join up, okay? We do not discriminate. There is no actual bar of entry. You just pay me money, you get to be in the army. That's how it fucking works, all right? It's 10 cents a day. That's cheaper than they used to have that commercial for, where you pay for the African kid. It's like cheaper than a cup of coffee. Well, you can actually take care of this soulless ginger for less than 10 cents a day by joining the Angry Ginger Army. You go to my channel, you click the join button. That's how you join. You can also donate if you click the Progressive Matters /home link in my description. And you can donate to me in PayPal. Some people do it that way. I prefer it that way because it only takes like 1% instead of 45%. Because YouTube is one of these giant corporations taking advantage of middle class people. All right, just so you guys fucking know. All right, Google, who just lost a lawsuit to the Biden administration in an antitrust lawsuit. Fucking love that shit. Take that, Google. Also, Live streams, Mondays, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, Saturdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. New videos. I'm trying to put them out as much as often as I can. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, trying to get them out. Fridays, I'm trying to get them out. Tomorrow, there's a video at 5 p.m. Pacific. Watch that shit. It's fucking hilarious. Talks all about MAGA canceling Joe Rogan and Tim Pool and Kyle Rittenhouse. It just shows how much of a fucking cult that MAGA actually is. It's fucking insane. Watch that shit. I bring receipts. Okay? That comes out tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And, of course, as always, thank you guys for being here. You don't have to support me financially. Just being here is fucking enough to keep me doing this shit. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you don't have money to help me out, don't send that shit to Trump either. All right. But the best way that you can support me is by being here, by commenting, by liking the show, by going to my channel, watching videos. If you're a Trump supporter, don't watch those videos. It'll hurt your feelings. Watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, share the videos. That's the way that you can support me the best. That's how I actually make any money at all on this channel. And one day, guys, who knows? Maybe we'll be something, all right? So I love you guys. I'm super thankful to you guys. Thank you for being here. And I hope I see you guys next time, next show, Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being here, and I'll see you next time.